On a huge night live on the Zone. Welcome inside the Nobu Hotel, the absolutely fantastic Nobu Hotel as well, isn't it? Really is nice. Adi Oladipo alongside former IBF middleweight champion Darren Barker. We're here. It's the big one. It feels like it's taken a long time to get here. Another AJ fight, right? It feels like it's been a while, but this is a big one. It always feels special when it's Anthony Joshua. New Dawn, they're calling it. What do you make of that, Buzz?
Yeah, well, I think that is the correct label for this because it is the New Dawn. 2 defeats in his last 2 fights, so this is the next coming of AJ, if you like. Some pressure, some pressure coming into this fight because look, he needs to win. He needs to win, and not only win, he's going to have to look good to remain one of the top players in the division. So, you know, there's some questions to be asked and answered, and look, I'm buzzing for it, mate.
You know what I'm very intrigued about, and people are always obsessed with this, aren't they? AJ's size. Yeah. A lot of people saying he's a lot bigger. I always feel like AJ's optimum weight is around 17.5 stone. Some people think he might be touching that 18 stone barrier. Jermaine Franklin, on the other hand, is coming a lot lighter. Who's got it right here? If AJ has gone bigger and Jermaine Franklin's gone lighter, who's got it correct?
We'll find out Saturday evening, won't we, about 11 o'clock, half 11 at night. Look, he looks well, though, AJ. Yeah. He looks well. But, look, we know about AJ. There's a lot of questions, again, like I said, that need to be answered. Has he still got the desire? How have those 2 defeats affected AJ? But on the other hand, Franklin, he's a very good fighter. Yeah. Very good fighter. We see it against Dillian Whyte.
Did he surprise you?
He did surprise me. I think he will take a lot of confidence from not just that fight itself, the build-up to that fight. He could have quite easily have been overawed by the occasion, being in the away, being the away fighter. In the Lions, then, we know Dillian Whyte's well supported, but Franklin, he come in there, he showed his worth, he showed he's a very good fighter, quick hands, he can move, he showed a very good chin, which you're going to need to against AJ. So, look, this is a proper opponent for AJ. You know, that I've seen a lot of people out there sort of rubbishing Franklin. You don't know your boxing then. I'm sorry, you don't know your boxing. This guy can fight. So that's why I feel there's pressure on AJ going into this one. Not only does he have to win and look good, he's in there with a good fighter. Yeah.
How's he going to handle this, though, Jermaine Franklin? I mean, this is all new to him, isn't it? Yes, he done well against Dillian Whyte, and it was a good performance. But the press conference, he was at the red carpet event the other day. Yeah. All the media obligations, that's all new. How does a fighter handle that?
Well, like I say, this is on a different magnitude. We get that. We do get that. There's fights and then there's AJ fights. And look, we can just see here the clips, though, of Franklin. Look, the short left hooks inside, slipping and sliding. You've got to remember, he won a National Golden Gloves title back in the States. This guy knows how to fight. You can see they're showing his toughness, backing up the bigger man in Dillian Whyte. And look, he felt hard done by at the end. But I think those occasions in that fight, though not as big as this, will help him. The confidence that he can take from being there before. But look, as much as AJ is up against it in some extent, Franklin certainly is.
What I like is that both of them have disappeared for fight camps. Last time, Jermaine Franklin went to Fury's fight camp. Not this time, he stayed in America. Yeah. AJ, we haven't really seen much with him as well. Obviously with Derek James, so both of them know how important it is, and it's almost like they've locked themselves away to make sure the job gets done on Saturday. Yeah,
because it's so important what's on the line. You know, a win for AJ gets him back nearer to fighting for those titles again. Franklin wins this. I mean, he's on the cuffs of a title fight himself.
Yeah, AJ there, as you can see, training away in Dallas, Texas, new trainer as well, and Derek James, alongside the likes of Errol Spence and Jamel Charlo, Frank Martin. I mean, he's been surrounding himself with dogs, right? Yeah. Because that's the thing everyone's been saying, haven't they, in the lead-up? AJ needs to bring the old-school dog mentality out. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but if it is, then he's in the right place.
To an extent, I think it is true, because I think that's why he put so many bums on seats. That's why he was so successful, aside from the fact that he can box. That excitement, that power. When AJ hits you, you stay here. Yeah. So we want to see him on the front foot, letting those shots go. We see it in a little clip there on the opener, the uppercut that he threw against Klitschko. I think that's a great shot in this fight. Against a shorter man, try and draw Franklin onto the uppercut. You know, you can take
you know what I'm a big fan of?
Go on.
The tree chopping. I love that bit of Rocky.
You're a Rocky fan.
I'm a Rocky fan. When I see someone chopping trees, I know they're serious.
Yeah, it's true.
I know it gets serious. Well, what's in this for Jermaine Franklin? Everyone talks about AJ, and rightly so, right? He's the big favourite. But for Jermaine Franklin, What if he wins? The big upset. What next for him? I mean, where does he go?
He'll be asking for the Wilder fight, the Fury fight, because, you know, however you rank these, let's obviously Fury, you sit at 1 and 2, then you've got AJ, Wilder, however you have those two. Then Franklin's there. He's there. He'll be calling for his shot. I want Wilder. I want this. You know, you're talking about he's going to earn fortunes from this fight. He'll want to be chipping away and adding pounds, dollars to his bank account. But he'll start believing, if he beats AJ, that he can win. That he can beat anyone, that he can win world titles. So he'll be calling out all the big names. This takes his career to a whole new stratosphere.
Yeah, we're going to hear from both Anthony Joshua and Jermaine Franklin at the press conference, and they're going to join us here as well. AJ's been saying some things this week. I think one of the things that have caught a lot of people's ears is that if he loses, he retires. And I don't know if that was tongue-in-cheek. I don't know if that's to motivate him. Yeah. But it is a long way back if he does lose.
Yeah, look, he has that fan base, AJ, and there, you know, we heard about talks of a world tour, etc. These things could still happen, but not on the scale that he'd want them to. You know, he needs to be winning. He needs to be beating the likes of Jermaine Franklin if he wants to be that main man again. Do you know what I mean? Winning titles. So I can totally understand why people are saying it, and I can understand why Anthony Joshua is saying himself. He's earned all the money in the world. How much more money do you need? Yeah. You know, he's earned world titles. The only thing missing, I mean, he's got the Olympic gold medal. The only thing that's missing is being the undisputed world champion. You know, and
that's the want, isn't it?
It's the want, and he does have something to fight for, which is important.
Indeed it is, indeed it is. Look, AJ versus Franklin is exclusive and only on DAZN. You can't watch it anywhere else. Make sure you watch it. This is truly going to be one of the main events you want to miss.
The new dawn of Anthony Joshua. Live exclusively on DAZN. Rising with a clear mission. Come back stronger. Full focus. Working around the clock. From dawn till dark. Restless. Relentless. Ready. Redemption is in the ring. Witness the rise. Live only on DAZN.
By the way, I'm a massive, massive fan of that piece. I think it's fantastic. If that doesn't get you excited for AJ Franklin, I'm not quite sure what will. Joshua Franklin does kick off a mega month of fights on DAZN. Next Saturday also sees Jesse Bam Rodriguez face Christian Gonzalez in a fight in a fortnight. It's and this is a huge doubleheader. Starting in Cardiff, where Joe Cordina challenges Shavkat Rakhimov for the IBF Super Featherweight title. Then later that night, an eagerly anticipated lightweight showdown as Gervonta Davis faces Ryan Garcia. It's a decent lineup, isn't it?
Not bad at all, mate.
I like that one. I like that one indeed. All right, look, now it's time to focus on the weekends. Let's hand over to the chairman of Matchroom Sport, Mr. Eddie Hearn.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to London. Feels quite strange to be saying this. It's Anthony Joshua Fight Week. He returns to the O2 Arena 7 years after his last appearance, defending his world heavyweight title against Dominic Breazeale. This time in an absolute must-win fight against America's Jermaine Franklin. Live and exclusive on DAZN around the world, of course, via its normal means of app, iPhone, tablet, smart TV, and now, of course, on your Sky boxes, on your Virgin boxes, and available in pubs. Tremendous news for all DAZN customers and fight fans around the UK as well. We have 2 press conferences here today. Of course, the main event press conference coming shortly, but first, a star-studded undercard of some fantastic international talent ready to perform on the biggest of stages as Anthony Joshua makes his turn back at the O2 on Saturday night. Where to start? Let's start with 2 people that have been in camp with Anthony Joshua in Dallas. 2 very talented fighters, Peter Kadiru and Jürgen Alderjaj. Jürgen, firstly, welcome. 15-0, massive opportunity for you on this card. Been a big part of that camp with Anthony Joshua and ready to perform on Saturday night.
Yeah, hello everybody. I'm happy to be here and I'm excited for this opportunity that's given to me. It's a pleasure to be part of this big platform and I'm looking forward for Saturday night.
AJ has a a great relationship with the sparring partners. It really is one big team. Obviously, adamant that you and Peter were part of this card as well. It's been a great camp for him. He always looks great, but you expect to get the job done on Saturday night in style for you, and then take your seat for the big man to do the business around 10 p.m.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to be around AJ, and I'm excited for his comeback fight as well. And yeah,
look forward to seeing you in action, Peter. Welcome.
I hope on Saturday night Eddie's gonna get impressed and finally get a contract. So because I'm ready for the big fight. I'm ready for the
Good. Well, I'm going to be sat in my seat watching, ready to see entertainment from you, my friend. Peter, big opportunity for you as well. I saw you spar in Dallas just a few weeks ago. You look great. You've had a great camp out there as well. Big fight for you as well. Time to progress and have a big 2023 in the heavyweight division.
Yeah, definitely. It was a long camp, hard camp. Yeah, man, I'm really grateful for this opportunity here. I want to thank 258. I want to thank Peter, Box Promotion, also Matchroom. Yeah, and my brother, Derek Chisora. And yeah, I'm looking forward for the fight. I'm ready to go, and yeah.
Good, and of course a great camp out there with Derek James in Dallas. Saw you in the gym with Errol Spence as well. It's been a great experience. Obviously already a big name in Germany, but great to be part of a big fight card in the UK.
Yeah, it was my first time being in a camp outside of Germany that long. So it was a whole new experience for me. And I learned a lot in Dallas. And yeah, I'm ready to show this on Saturday.
Right, look forward to seeing you both in action in the heavyweight division on Saturday night. A couple of young undefeated fighters who get the opportunity to perform on the big stage at the O2. John Hedges. John, you've boxed at the O2 before, never on an Anthony Joshua card. Big moment for you, local as well, a lot of support, and stepping up now to 8 rounds in some serious fights as you look to challenge for your first title later in the year.
Yeah, exactly that, Eddie. Obviously, this is my fourth fight at the O2 now, and it's only me 8 fights. I've been very privileged to have these opportunities, thanks to yourself and the Matchroom banner. And yeah, like you say, I'm going to start stepping it up now. I've got a record opponent in Daniel Bosianski, and I'm looking to do the job in style. Had a great camp. It's ready to go now.
We've seen you really grow from boy to man over the last couple of years. You feel that as well now, like you said, 8 fights in, and getting stronger, ready to step up the rounds as well, and really feel yourself growing into that position now.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm putting the weight on, and it's gradually. Do you know what I mean? So it's obviously my maturity. I'm 20 years of age, and I'm on my 8th fight, so I'm doing something right. It's just about taking the right fights, right time, progressing nicely. And like you say, we're on the 8 rounders now. Let's start getting these and then put our eyes on a title. Forward
to seeing you in action on Saturday, as I am undefeated Jordan Flynn, part of the 258 team. Great fight against Kane Baker. Kane is, I'm sorry to say this, Jordan, but one of our favourites. He's part of the Matchroom family, been part of Fight Camp, and always gives us tremendous fights. But for you, Jordan, again, part of the 258 team, great platform, a really good fight against Kane Baker, who always comes to fight.
Yeah, no, definitely. First of all, I just want to say a big thank you for the opportunity to yourself, Eddie, to 258, my management, for this opportunity on the big stage. I feel like I deserve to be here. This is where I should be. And yeah, it's a good opponent. My mic's working, yeah. It's definitely a step up, and it's a step up that I'm ready for. I feel like the better opponent I face, the better I'm going to fight, and you're going to see that on Saturday night.
Kane, always come to fight. O2 Arena for you, Anthony Joshua card. We know you love this sport, and ready to put in another great performance on Saturday.
100% blessed to be here. Really am. Massive privilege. Something I thought that I wouldn't ever get to do was fight on the AJ undercard, so I'm ticking off some boxes. Just massive thank you to you and everyone at Matchroom, and I'll turn up on Saturday and I'll be throwing leather all night. Don't worry about that.
Look forward to that fight, Jordan Flynn against Kane Baker. Ziad Al-Maouf, welcome back, my friend. Welcome to everybody, part of your team from Saudi Arabia. Skills Challenge. Prince Khalid there, didn't see you. Welcome, my friend. Ravi, Mr. Chisora, of course, certainly the most important person out in that part of the world for boxing. Ziad, I watched my favourite fight from the Jake Paul night was definitely your fight. I mean, it was exciting. The people were going crazy. You got knocked down. You came back. You won the fight. but now something different. And obviously, as an opportunity from a fighter from that region to fight on an Anthony Joshua card in London, a great moment for you and the people of Saudi Arabia as well.
Yeah, first I just want to thank Prince Khalid and Skill Challenge Promotions, Matchroom and 258 for this amazing opportunity. I mean, the shoulders you see on me right now carry a weight of so many, and the lightest of them is mine. But I'm here to represent, and this is what I love to do. You know, what happened last fight, maybe it's not what many wanted, but it was what was written. And I'm always ready to adapt to what's written. And nothing is going to change this fight. It's a new opportunity. I am the first Saudi to fight at the O2. The first Arab to fight at the O2. To many, maybe these are just small milestones, but I didn't think I'd be the first to even fight at my own local arena back home. So I'm here now. I can't stop smiling. I hardly believed it when Eddie Hearn just said my name right now. So we're here, and I'm here for a good show.
Do you feel maybe a little bit less pressure on you this time? I mean, last time in the arena, the crowd was going crazy and difficult to perform in those kind of circumstances sometimes. But this time, maybe just a chance to work on your boxing. But we know everybody back home going to be tuned in and watching you.
Every fight for me, I like to put the pressure on myself. You know, the pressure is something I welcome because it's such heavy pressure during camp. When you're putting that work, it gives you that push. But on fight night, when I'm representing that big pressure of my country in Saudi Arabia, that huge pressure of the Arab world, that pressure turns into a parachute and it turns into my cape. And I put that cape on fight night, and this is what I use to fly. And there's nothing more that I love to do than to put on a show and possibly even deliver that knockout blow.
Well, very good, very good. Look forward to seeing action this week, and obviously welcome to yourself. Skills Challenge, everybody. We look forward to a great show on Saturday night. Thank you. We go to the top table. Campbell Hatton out pretty much straight away. You boxed on the Liverpool show recently, and the team said, 258 said, get through that with no problems. We'd love to see him at the O2. The progress continues, the education continues, and another huge fight card to be a part of on Saturday.
Yeah, so it's basically an instant turnaround, which is exactly what we want. I think we're showing them improvements every time. We're on the 8-rounders, and it's going to bring the best out of me. I think I'll be much better over long fights because all my mistakes happen when I rush things, and having the extra few rounds is just going to benefit me. So I think we're going to see the best performance yet this weekend.
Obviously always in great shape, went through the 8 rounds comfortably at the week in Liverpool as well just a couple of weeks ago. Another good step up for you on Saturday, but starting to really change the mentality now as you move towards the 8s and of course going towards 10 rounds as well later in the year.
Yes, the way I was boxing early on, it was clear that I was just too eager to please, and I was just trying to go 100 mile an hour with everything. And I think last time out I shown I am thinking about going up and down the gears and thinking about things, and it's going to be the same again this week and look to show a calculated performance. Louis,
welcome. Big opportunity for you as well. You know, for Campbell, it's a big card to be a part of, but for yourself, O2 Arena, Anthony Joshua card, and a lot of people tipping you to give Campbell some hard work on Saturday night.
Yeah, I just want to thank yourself and everyone in Matchroom for the opportunity. It's a massive stage to be on, so I'm privileged to be a part of it. And obviously fighting the likes of Campbell Hatton himself, obviously, you know, who he is with his dad, and it's a big name. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Been training hard, and it's a massive opportunity for me to kickstart my career on and get a good win under my belt.
Obviously a big card, but also a big scout in Campbell Hatton. And is that part of the thought process behind taking this fight? You know that a victory on Saturday would put you in a great position for a big fight.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's there's always like, if there's no risk, there's no reward. So like, obviously, I know Campbell's a good kid and he's got good people around him, but me going and beating Campbell Hatton then propels me onto massive, bigger things.
Oh, good fight, Campbell Hatton against Louis Fielding. Before we go on to Ammo Williams against River Wilson Ben, just to talk about the crazy world of boxing, which was we received the unfortunate news that Felix Cash would not be fit to fight on Saturday. We thought about what we'd do in the situation of the European middleweight title, and behind the scenes we knew that next week in San Antonio on a massive card on DAZN, Bellew was expected to fight in a 10-round championship fight. when we made that fight, he had asked us if he could fight at the O2 on the AJ card, but it was full up. So when we got the news of Felix Cash, the first phone call that we made was to Bellew and the McCrackens and said, don't suppose he wants to fight at a weekend again at the O2? The answer was yes within a nanosecond. And when I saw you, Bellew, just over there a couple of minutes ago, you said, thank you, I'm absolutely over the moon to be fighting at the O2 on Saturday night.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. As you already probably know, I'm quite looking forward to going over to San Antonio. But yeah, I like fighting in the UK. I don't get to fight here often. I fought here on my debut. Hopefully it's the same kind of night.
It's funny how things work. I was actually, trying to map out your fights for the year the other day, and I was thinking to myself, you debuted at the O2, you boxed at Madison Square Garden, you boxed in Abu Dhabi, and now you're boxing again in San Antonio. I was thinking he really needs that fight back in the UK. Of course, off the back of Olympic gold in Tokyo that you won, already world ranked, already a WBC international champion. Looking forward to, of course, the same opponent as well that was scheduled. He arrives tonight in the UK. It's a tough fight, this fight on Saturday night, but ready to make another statement.
Yeah, they're all tough fights. As you saw in my last fight, I got a bit of stick in that fight. I had my issues, but I get to prove them people wrong who don't think I'm that good anymore. So we'll see it on Saturday night in the foreseeable future.
I know you're very calm, but does that criticism affect you? I mean, sometimes unfair, you're being thrown in against world-class fighters in your second, third fight in your career as well. Sometimes you're not going to get it all your way, but that was a fight that you had to actually, through the midway stage of that fight, looked like you could lose that fight unless you got yourself together. We know you had your problems that night, but to face that kind of adversity so early on in your professional career gives you great grounding for the future.
Yeah, the criticism don't bother me. I'm not going to lie, I'd rather have people criticising me than people up my arse. Do you know what I mean? I've had that for the last year or two after the Olympics. But we'll see what happens in the future and we'll see how good I can be.
Well, I, for one, am over the moon to see you fight on Saturday. Olympic gold medalist Bellew, in my opinion, one of the best young prospects in world boxing. Already ranked in the top 15 of the governing bodies, ready to make his charge at the world flyweight title this year, I believe. Will be fighting against Mexico's Caballeros on Saturday night, live on DAZN. We go back to that middleweight fight. Ammo Williams is here because we were building up to the Felix Cash fight. That fight's parked for now because on Saturday night, you may or may not know, you have a tough fight against River Wilson Bent. You have a Brit who always comes to fight. You're number 3 in the world with the WBA. This guy can steal all your rankings on Saturday night. I know how much you love to fight in the UK as well. Ready to put on a show for the UK fans on Saturday night.
Yes, first I want to give all the thanks and glory to God because I feel like he always moves things around for me in an amazing way. I was supposed to just be on this show doing commentary, and the hard work that I consistently put in had me ready to fight and to fight a actually good opponent. That's what I always want to do. That's what I aim for. I aim to fight guys who, I know they're going to come with the A game, especially when fighting me, because they feel like they can take a lot from me. And I've learned to just use that as fuel. I've learned to use that as my advantage because I can never slip up. I can never take a day off. I can never, get comfortable. So I'm very thankful for not only Matchroom Boxing and Eddie Hearn. I'm thankful for fighters like River who are willing to take fights on short notice against somebody like me, He has a lot to gain. I have a lot to lose. But actually, I have a lot to gain as well because I'm a new fighter. I'm still taking these experiences and adding these accolades to my back pocket. So I need him just as much as he needs me.
You are a new fighter, but you're also number 3 in the world. You had your doubts about Felix Cash. We'll see what happens there, but you do want all the smoke. You want to come through here, and some of the names that you mentioned to me, you feel like you're ready for the very best in the middleweight division. You were willing to come over to London to fight Felix again, get through Saturday. Whatever happens, it's going to be a massive fight for you next.
Yeah, I definitely love experiences like this because River has a lot of advantages that, people don't mention. I'm coming to his hometown. I'm coming somewhere where he's familiar. And, I'm coming here as the American, and I have to win decisively. I have to put on the best performance. But the greatest thing has happened for me. I feel like everything has come together. My vision in the ring is on a different level. I'm much more calculated than a young lion that you guys are used to seeing, just very explosive. And, gunning for knockouts and things like that. Now the knockout will come, but it's calculated, and it's just a testament to the hard work that I've consistently put in. Never taking off, never pulling out a fight, always ready, always available when matchroom calls. And I'm now seeing the physical results of that in the ring, and I'm ready to showcase that on Saturday night.
Thank you, Emma. River, what a chance for you. I mean, fair play to you. You got the call, quick bit of negotiation, and you were all in for this fight. Yeah. Obviously, a massive chance to steal his rankings. O2 Arena, AJ card, massive night on Saturday.
Yeah, brilliant opportunity. Very grateful. Thank you, Eddie and Matchroom, for this. I boxed 3 weeks ago Saturday, come out of the ring, chilling at home on Sunday, and got the phone call, do you want to box on the O2? At the O2, AJ undercard against Amma Williams. Obviously, I buzz in, I'm always ready, I'm always fit to be in these fights. And yeah, great opportunity.
Obviously, he's the favourite going into the fight, but at the same time, you're a very talented fighter. You are at home in the UK. He's still learning as well, but what a chance. I mean, literally take his World Championship rankings, you'll be top 10 with virtually every governing body. We'll just walk you into a massive fight if you win on Saturday.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant. Obviously, that's something that we want and that we're going for on Saturday night.
Good. Well, we look forward to a great fight. Amma Williams against River Wilson-Benn. And their co-feature on Saturday night, a fantastic heavyweight fight. Again, UK against USA. And I love this fight because this man to my right has all of a sudden, outside of Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, become the most talked about heavyweight in the UK. You know, at one stage, just a white-collar fighter. Now, all of a sudden, English champion, British champion, and on everybody's list to call out, which is very, very nice of everybody and very, very rewarding for all the work that you've put in. Firstly, we'll go to Michael Coffey. Michael, welcome from the USA. This is a great fight. You know, I know you're coming off a couple of defeats, but one of those was a fantastic fight on ESPN as well. And I know you and your team, you like this fight. You fancy this fight, huge platform to put you back in line for massive fights in the world rankings.
Yeah, absolutely. This was a fight that I actually was talking about a lot before the call even came, so I guess it just manifested itself.
Obviously, you do have experience, you know, in the professional game, as does Fabio. What do you see there? We have a raw fighter to my right that punches very hard, very explosive, very exciting as well. You've watched the tape as well. You fancy your chances in this fight?
Absolutely. To me, the only thing I'm seeing is a W. I know it's going to be a good fight. I expect it to be, you know, action-packed, difficult, but I'm ready to weather the storm.
And obviously the UK at the moment, home of some big heavyweights. Yeah. There'll be a lot of people watching in the UK and around the world. Victory on Saturday night puts you in line with all of those guys around world level, whether it's Joyce, whether it's Dubois, you know, even Fury and Dillian White and all those kind of people. Massive opportunity for you through victory.
Absolutely. That makes me excited, as a matter of fact. And I think y'all going to like this one, for sure.
Thank you, Michael. Fabio, welcome. The frustration, I guess, of not defending the British title, we went through about 3 or 4 opponents. People like to conveniently call you out with a week to go. This is actually a really tough fight, isn't it? You know, someone that's very seasoned, someone that's very tough, someone that's boxed at a high level on big shows and big networks in America as well. A tougher fight than maybe just a standard defence of the British title, but looking forward to getting back to the O2 on Saturday night, coming off the back of a tremendous victory against Nathan Gorman.
Yeah, really buzzing to get back to the O2. It's turned into my home away from home. I think really I've boxed there, I don't know how many times now, 5 or 6, and I've said loads of times there's nothing really beats a packed out O2 arena. That atmosphere, that buzz is something I live for, I thrive off. Like when I'm in the thick of it in a fight and the crowd's going nuts, and it's just one of those special moments that you don't get in any other arena, really. And Saturday night's going to be the same. Is one thing I do is entertain the fans, however it comes. Maybe to the concern of maybe my team and stuff, I get myself in some sticky situations, but I live for those moments. That buzz and that thrill of the fight and just really getting stuck in is all and everything I'm about.
I was just thinking back when you said that about, you know, the buzz of fighting at the O2, and I remember back to your early performances at the O2, where Dillian White would say to us, look, you know, we've got this heavyweight kid from Ipswich, I think he's got talent, and we'd put you on at, I don't know, 4:30, and you'd sell loads of tickets, and they'd all turn up early. On Saturday night, you're going to be boxing after 9 p.m. in front of 17,000 people, packed, everybody in their seats. You know, it's been a great journey, hasn't it, to get to where you are, and it really is just the beginning.
Yeah, it's been a crazy, crazy journey from starting at White Collar in a show that has maybe 200 people in to now at the O2 that's got 17,000 in. It's been a wild, wild ride and a roller coaster, but I'm thankful for every day. I'm thankful for the opportunity. Like I said, I've boxed on and chief supported to some big cards in the past, but nothing beats an AJ card and nothing beats a packed out O2 arena. So those two things for me are going to bring out the best in me, and it's going to be a great performance again on Saturday.
For years, you've been looking for those big fights. You've been looking for those names, those opportunities, and all of a sudden, everybody starts calling your name out. And I've seen call-out videos. I've seen terrible ones. I've seen decent ones. You know, we've got Fraser Clark. You know, Sol Dakers, who we represent, got the English title. That's a great fight as well. David Adelaide, I saw some video the other day. Is that off-putting? Is that motivating? You know, is that distracting? Ultimately, you must win on Saturday night.
Yeah, I've got to win on Saturday night, but it's fun. It's what I'm in the game for. I'm in the game to have these Twitter spats back and forth to build some and put a bit of needle in between the fight and let these people know that I don't care what background you have, ABA this, amateur this, you've done this, that and the other. That means nothing to me. This is the pro game now. It's professional boxing. And I do that very well. And push, shove, whatever, all comes to the end is that I can fight. And I've got a set of bleep on me that are big, and you're not going to get through me on Saturday night, and the same goes for Michael Coffey.
Well, fast emerging as one of the big names in British boxing, the British heavyweight champion, Fabio Wardley, against Michael Coffey for the WBA Continental Heavyweight Championship on Saturday night. A tremendous undercard. We're going to pose now for head-to-heads up here before we have a small break, before we return with AJ against Franklin.
I do like that. I like that. You know, I like Fabio Wardley's confidence.
Yeah.
Good speaker, Fabio.
Oh, really good speaker, really good fighter. Every time I see him on the card, I'm buzzing because he brings it every single time. Like I know Fabio, spending a bit of time with him on these shows. It's like he needs to take a shot to get going, but that makes him very exciting. He gets caught with a shot and then he'll come firing in. Very intelligent inside and outside the ring, and yeah, glad he's on the card.
Yeah, glad he's on his card. Indeed, Nathan Gorman last time out, and you're right, he took a shot from Nathan Gorman. It woke him up, and in the end, he got rid of Nathan Gorman. It is a shame he's not defending that British title because he wants to win it outright, but in Michael Coffey, he does have a dangerous American. That's big, that's strong, and I like it as well because it brings a different kind of style approach for him as well. So he's learning different styles in there.
Coffey can fight. He's dangerous. He loads up with shots, he switches, he makes it difficult for opponents. And
Derek Chisora loves being in every shot, doesn't he?
He does. Yeah. He does. He does. You said he'll come to the opening of an envelope.
I did not say that. Just in case Derek Chisora listens to that back, that was certainly not me. That was Mr. Darren Barker. But they are going to do face-offs. What is it like in that moment? You've done this, you know, press conference and a face-off. Are you looking at your opponent, trying to gauge something, or is it just a case of a formality just to tick a box?
I think early days you kind of take something away from it, but as you get more experience, I think you understand it's all part and parcel of the fight week build-up. But sometimes you do see the chinks. I always liked it when people...
There you go, Chisora again.
Yep.
There you go. There's good old Del Boy.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, War Chisora nowadays.
War Chisora,
it is War Chisora.
See, Jurgen there, very good fighter. Well-supported Albanian.
Yeah.
He would have sold some tickets for sure, and he can fight. And Peter as well, the big heavyweight. He's coming back from a loss. So he needs to look good.
Yeah, you see that little QR code in the corner of the screen right there? Scan that. You want to watch the boxing on Saturday, that's the place to do it. Scan that QR code. Make sure you don't miss all the exciting action. Undercard action is going to be really good as well. Kane Baker, I mean, he's one of those people, when he retires, you're going to look back and think, wow, I mean, he fights anyone, anywhere.
Well, I mean, he said it time and time again. I remember back in the fight camp days, he's a boxing fan with a license. He absolutely loves it. He absolutely loves it. And he brings it all the time.
That's a good way of putting it, a boxing fan with a license.
Yeah, he comes to fight every single time. And Jordan Flynn will know he's in a fight Saturday night.
Yeah, indeed. You know, it's very interesting to see young Campbell Hatton on this one, just because we were speaking about him earlier, weren't we? 10 fights into his pro career now. This will be his 11th. And you kind of wonder, what's the route for Campbell Hatton? I'd love to be like a fly on the wall as he's talking to his management company, 258, and Eddie, about, okay, where do we go in the next sort of 12 to 18 months?
Look, it's all baby steps. We know that. He had, half a dozen, I think 15 amateur fights.
Yeah.
learning all the time. It's about going in the right direction, and Campbell has been. You know, he's starting to show us a lot more now, a lot more thought in his work, a lot more speed and thought. And this young man here, he would have learned a lot in Abu Dhabi.
Olympic gold medalist as well. He was supposed to be on the card in San Antonio next week. I mean, look, he's a flyweight. I mean, cutting weight in the last week is going to be difficult. As much as he's happy to be here, how difficult is the weight cut going to be for him now?
Well, look, it's all a science these days. You get every single day is crucial, and now he's apt to bring it forward. So not ideal, but he's buzzing. He's on the bill.
It certainly is. Emma Wilson there versus Emma Williams, apologies, versus Wilson Benn. Emma Williams. We want to see the Felix Cash fight next if he gets past this one. Obviously, Felix Cash not on the card, so you do wonder if that fight's going to happen. But Emma, very exciting.
Yeah, very, very good fighter. Spiteful finisher, quick hands, great variation. Every shot in his artillery, and very confident, you can see there. But this River Bent, this is his pot of gold. This is his opportunity to completely change his career and change his life.
And we have seen it. It does happen. People come in and do cause the upsets. And of course, he's got an opportunity, as you say here, an opportunity of a lifetime. And I think it's a good opportunity as well.
It is for sure, and this man here, I think, starting to fill out now into the cruiserweight. Look, he started off as a light heavy, but I don't think it was ever realistic that he would be a light heavyweight, get down to the championship weight.
That shows how big he is.
Exactly.
Eddie's
6'5", he's massive. Exactly.
That shows how big he is.
So it's starting to fill out, he's starting to mature, and he's a very good fighter.
And then Fabio Wardley versus Michael Coffey. I saw Fabio Wardley kind of put a picture up of him drinking coffee, so I don't mind a bit of coffee in the morning. I like that line. Proper. But look, I mean, everyone's calling Fabio Wardley out. David Adelaide wants a piece of him. Fraser Clark, that'll be a good British title fight as well. But all eyes on this one. He's got to get through Michael Coffey to get those fights.
Like I said there, we know how good Fabio Wardley is. I mean, his trajectory, the way he's improved, it is amazing with no amateur pedigree whatsoever, just the white-collar boxing scene. But Coffey can fight. Let me tell you, look, there's a couple of defeats to Jonathan Rice. The last one being a split decision, I think it was. He can fight, he's dangerous, he switches, he loads up with shots, he really does wing the hooks in. So Fabio, like we said it before, he does get caught early, so he's going to have to stay switched on from the start.
Yeah, we've got all the icons on the zone. Obviously, an icon of British boxing, AJ, fights this Saturday. Remember, scan the QR code, you don't want to miss that fight. An even bigger icon, some will say, Katie Taylor returns home to Ireland May 20th to take on Chantel Cameron. What a fight that's going to be.
That was on American soil. It's only right to run it back again, don't you think? Don't you think?
The rematch between Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano is officially off.
As the weeks have unfolded, she's just not going to be ready.
Katie Taylor not fighting and that fight card not happening, we have a problem.
Katie Taylor on her social media.
It's coming from Katie, so there's no excuses can be made now.
And I always said that when Chantel Cameron racked up the belts, she would be the front runner.
Undisputed champion versus undisputed champion. Both undisputed, both undefeated. No brainer.
Katie's like, no, we'll dance at 140.
That is a tougher fight than Amanda Serrano for Katie Taylor.
I love it. Sensational.
For the first time in a four-belt era, two reigning undisputed champions will face off against each other.
The Queen of Ireland, she's coming home.
Yeah, Katie Taylor versus Chantel Cameron is just one of so many huge events coming your way in the zone over the next couple of months. In a fortnight, there's an epic lightweight showdown stateside when Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia finally lock horns. There's another homecoming on May 6th when Canelo Alvarez puts his undisputed super middleweight belts on the line against John Ryder in Mexico. And the X-Series returns to the UK for its 7th edition as KSI tops the bill against Joe Fournier. As ever, check those local schedules for details on what's available in your region. All right, look what's happened here. You always know when it's a big one. When it's a big one, when the boys from America come across the pond for this. Great to have Barack, great to have Ak here with us as well. Gents, how excited are you for this one?
Well, first off, I got to get to the hotel and wash up because I'm here fresh off the jet from the airport.
That's him apologizing for the stench.
Is that what that was? Yeah.
Now you know.
We need the old school smell-o-vision. That's what we need. But no, great to have you. We know you literally have just dropped off the plane. Talk to me about the excitement in America for this one, for Franklin, in terms of what people think he can do against AJ.
Well, I think people are more excited about Derek James and what he's able to do with Anthony Joshua in America. That's the question. Does that culture in Texas, around Errol Spence, around Jermell Charlo, does something to Anthony Joshua? I believe so. The Americans want to, they want to know. Obviously, Franklin, he has nothing to lose. Like, he's here to gain the world right now, pulling off an upset. But I think when you talk about America, that's the real question.
It's interesting, though, isn't it, Barack? Because I remember that same line there about Franklin has nothing to lose. We said exactly the same thing about Ruiz. Yeah. When Ruiz got that shot all those years ago at Madison Square Garden, he has nothing to lose, and it changed his life, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. I think Americans are fickle. I think they're just really wondering, if these questions are going to be answered. Does Joshua still have it? Is he going to be that same guy he was when he fought Dominic Breazeale and guys like that? I think that's what Americans are waiting for. And you're right. This could be another Ruiz. I think Jermaine Franklin is skillful like that, but I just think that Joshua going to America, it's going to tweak something inside of him, and we're going to see a different Joshua.
Is there any talk in the States about a potential AJ Wilder contest?
Oh, that's been all the talk since the beginning of time. In my opinion, that's still one of the biggest fights in the heavyweight division. If you're going to exclude the undisputed crown, right, between Usyk and AJ, there's no other bigger fight.
Do you know what I've called that fight? Have you heard what I've called it?
No. What?
Chaos in Lagos. That fight's got to go back to Nigeria. Chaos in Lagos for AJ versus Wilder.
I like that.
You like that, right?
You could promote
I've already copyrighted it. I've trademarked the whole thing already. What do we need to see from AJ? Like I've said openly, like a win's almost just not enough. Like we almost want to see, as you mentioned, Breazeale, Molina, destructive AJ. Does it need to be a knockout, or is it a case of just get the W?
Absolutely, it needs to be a knockout. It needs to be the aggressive AJ that we know him to be. I believe Derek can get that out of him. We spoke to Derek a few weeks ago, and he touched on some of the things that he's tweaking, but he talked about AJ athleticism, right? What he does in the ring, like you're seeing right here against Dillian White. We know he has that in him. Derek James wants to bring that out of him. I don't think a decision will go well. We know this is boxing, and you got to be prepared for 12. I just think we're going to see a vicious AJ. He has a chip on his shoulder.
Well, let me give you a little twist, because this is the AJ that we want to see. All we really want to see is a confident AJ, no matter the turnout. It just so happens that he's that kind of puncher that we're going to see a knockout if he's confident.
Have people read too much into the Usyk defeats? Like, I was lucky enough to be ringside for both of them. And you're talking about Usyk, pound for pound number one, a lot of people say. That's who AJ lost to, the pound for pound number one. Have we read too much into those defeats?
Possibly. Look, he lost to a very good fighter twice, a guy that was put on this planet to box. You can see him there, just an absolute boxing genius. His ring IQ is on another level. It really is. I mean, he does things that not many fighters can do. Certainly as a heavyweight. His kind of disadvantage, if you like, his size, he makes it as an advantage, the speed. So I think if you're AJ, you think, look, I've lost to a very good guy. I can come back. But for me, he has to win. Look, I agree that you want to look good. That confidence got to be there. Part of me just thinks this is, they've called it here the new dawn. It's just about winning now. There's so much achievements that he can be proud of, Anthony Joshua. Now it's just going in there and probably enjoy this more than he had his old career, knowing that he's achieved so much.
Right, I think when Campbell Hatton lost to Manny Pacquiao, or when he lost to, I'm sorry, Campbell. Oh my God.
Just got off a flight. It's okay. We get it. We get it.
When Ricky Hatton lost to Floyd or Manny Pacquiao, he can look and say those guys were the best because he gave his all. That's the thing. After the fight with Usyk, we kind of looked at Joshua and say, you didn't give your all. And maybe that's what he's thinking to himself as well. We didn't see that same Joshua we saw before. So can he just say, hey, I lost to the best? Or is he saying, I didn't bring out my all?
Do you know what? I think he can look back at that fight and think, do you know what? I was a little rebellious. I was a little rebellious where I thought he was annoyed that he was so-called not the underdog, but he was in there with a master boxer, and I think he tried to prove to everybody he could outbox Usyk.
Did he do that in the second fight?
Well, in the second fight,
what did we see in the second fight? Did we see improvements from AJ in the second?
100%. I think that's what you can take from that loss, right? He had moments in that fight. In the first fight, when you saw him hurt Usyk, he wasn't able to capitalize on that moment, but he did hurt Usyk in the first, so we know he can hurt him. In the second fight, he had more success. Obviously not enough to win a fight, but moments that he can take from to say, all right, I can compete at that level. I wasn't my best, but I can compete with this guy. I think that he can take that little confidence.
I agree with what you're saying there, because there will be that head scratching thinking, I could have done more. I could have done more. I could have closed the gap. I could have let my bombs go a bit earlier and sustained an attack. So there will be those question marks, but you can take solace from that and peace knowing that you could have done more. It's not like AJ fought out of his skin and lost twice. There was more to give, I feel.
And at the end of the day, like, yeah, you fought better in the second fight, but was that the right game plan to get the victory? You know, guys like Jermaine Taylor fought Kelly Pavlik better the second fight, but still lost. So it's about getting the proper game plan that's going to get you the victory moving forward.
What did you all make of what happened after the fight, second time round, where AJ took the mic and obviously went on what some are labeling a rant? What did you make of that? Was it just a case of he did almost have a small breakdown in the ring? What did you read into it?
Well, I mean, I've had breakdowns in my fight and rants before, so frustration built up from
you do that
a country.
every day, like regularly.
Yeah, probably, but a country that adored him, loved him. Look, we were here in 2018 against Povetkin, and it was raining out. People were there with their ponchos. They didn't leave their seats drinking beers. They loved AJ, and then they flipped on him a little bit, and that can get to any human being. I don't care how much mental strength you have and how tough you are. That'll get to anybody. He wasn't proud of it. He mentioned it. Yep. It was a breakdown. We're past it now. Now it's back to fighting, back to business. So I'm over that.
Can I say something about that? Like, there is no emotions like fighting, right, Darren? Like, no matter what you do in your life, there is no emotions like fighting another human being. Can we give him a little leeway? He just fought, and then on top of that, he lost. Yeah. You ever lose? Like, losing is hell.
It is. I mean, it's like grief. It's like grieving. When you lose, it's that painful. The winning is so great that the losing is soul shattering. And I can understand, you know, all of what he should have done or should have done. In some respects, you want to see that. You want to see that moment. You want to see that passion. He doesn't like losing. He doesn't like to lose. So
give him a little moment.
I would be honest, I prefer that than the energy we got after the Ruiz loss, the first loss. Yeah. That was energy where, nah, this is not who I'm supposed to be. I'm not supposed to be losing. I'm not supposed to be in this point. Maybe he took it too far, but to your point, that's passion. That's what you want to see inside the ring, and I think that's what we're going to see on Saturday. So I'm over that. You know, it was a moment. It's old news.
Yeah, it is old news indeed. But I sat down with AJ a few weeks ago and done what I like to do. The most important thing for me, eat. But AJ is kind of big as well. He likes to eat as well. Me and AJ tasted some of my local cuisine. All right, workout done, and what do you do after you work out? You eat. And I decided, you know what, to treat AJ to some traditional Nigerian food.
And listen, I'm not complaining.
Of course he's not complaining. You've got to load up the stomach. How do you think you got these muscles? You've got to load up the stomach. Rachel has provided this glorious food for us.
Special delivery from Harvest Afro Caribbean. Yeah. We're based in Windsor, and we have everything in there for you. Yeah. And we know that you guys have to drink something, so you've got your Nigerian
we got for us Nigerian fans.
Nigerian fans.
Nigerian
Keep
fans.
it real, exactly.
By the way, there's about 100 cameramen behind us, and all of them think they're going to get something. They ain't getting nothing. Look at this. Bye. I see fish, I see jollof rice, I see a bit of rice and peas here. We've got some jerk wings, we've got some egusi. That looks like pounded jam. We've got plantain. Yes. What are you thinking first, AJ?
I'm going with the rice. Yeah. I'm going to go with some
that sauce looks
fish
good.
And some sauce.
That sauce looks good.
Carbohydrates.
Okay. Oh, you start. Okay.
Yeah. And then we've got some protein.
I was thinking that as well. I was thinking
You're thinking of the flavours.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking
about. Yeah. And then just charge up again. After a gym session, you just want to charge up again, really, and refuel. So here we got some, like, vegetable chili stew. I'm going to nick one of these.
Little jerk wing there.
Jerk wings.
What's your everyday diet like now? Strict?
Well, it's not far off of this.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because in sport, these are the basics of what you need to refuel. I put it like this. Fruits and veg is like your minerals.
Yeah.
Rices from the carbohydrates, and the fish and the chicken to, like, give me the protein to repair my muscles. Whether you're an athlete, whether you're an everyday working person, you can get the benefits of good tasting food while getting the health benefits from it as well.
Yeah. You can tell she made this fresh.
I know you're putting them secret ingredients.
As soon as I said AJ, it's like, oh, AJ!
Like, they brought out the pot from the vat, sprinkled that.
that pot with the black burn on the bottom. Do you count calories?
I don't personally. Yeah. My team do. After a hard training session, the last thing I want to do is go and eat a big meal because it's tiring. Yeah. But the guys are pushing me like, come on, you've got to get the fuel back in. Eat. So I'm just like scoffing it down. But the results in the long run are my engine can go for a lot further.
As we get closer to April 1st, does the diet change completely?
It's the Rocky Marciano diet. What he would do is, a week before the fight, he would have the same meal every day. So like your digestive system gets used to that. It's not always trying to break down different foods. Your body gets, it just gets used to what you're eating on a daily basis. Same breakfast, same lunch, same dinner.
When you are away, obviously you're going to be in Texas soon. Do you try and find spots like this?
Unfortunately, no. This is grind mode.
Yeah, I'm not trying to create home in Texas.
In Texas.
I'm in Texas to work.
To work, yeah. For me personally, I'm an athlete where I try and like look after myself, because I'm not just thinking of today, I'm thinking 10 years down the line, the damage and impacts I'm putting my body through, I'm trying to preserve myself for when I'm a lot older.
And I have to be honest, I'll probably wash it down with the water.
No Fanta?
That sugar in that?
But you know what?
Go on.
If you're training hard,
yeah,
it's fine to have a Fanta.
Okay.
Because you're going to burn it.
I'm going to feel so bad tonight eating a pizza.
Don't do it.
I'm not doing it. It's cancelled. It's cancelled.
Chinese instead.
Thank you to Rachel, who provided all this wonderful food for us. Cameraman, be gone. And let us enjoy our next hour or so. Thank you. Yeah, I enjoyed that. You know what the worst thing is? When the camera's on you, you can't really eat the way you want to eat. I wanted to tuck in. As soon as that camera went off, the real Ade came out. I tucked in.
You've never eaten with me on camera because I forget that the cameras are rolling.
How was the food? Was it real legit
Food was good.
Nigerian
Real good food. I don't know if you saw it, but there was like a Fanta there, and they call it like a Nigerian Fanta. And AJ's nutritionist was right there. And AJ wanted to back the drink. He was like, 1 second. AJ was like, it's okay, look at me. Like, I want to take the drink. He just sipped it. I took the whole drink.
Sure. Drug test.
We're coming in here. Who knows what's in that Nigerian Fanta?
Exactly.
Indeed it is. All right, look, I want to talk about AJ and going to Dallas, Texas. Look, Robert Garcia was his former trainer, and I never liked the fact that Robert Garcia came to Loughborough to train AJ. I've always felt like if AJ wants to get the best out of Robert Garcia, he needs to go to Oxnard, California, where he's got that gym. What do you make of AJ saying, okay, we have to go to Dallas, Texas. We need to be around Charlo, Spence, Frank Martin?
I just think that, to your point, the fact that he did have an American trainer here in the UK, and I guess it didn't translate the way he expected, and that's why he made that move. But look, I thought Derek James was a perfect match, especially after speaking to him and what he pointed out that AJ brings to the table and what needs to be pushed. You know, you don't try to change a guy in one training camp. We all know that that's impossible, right? You enhance what you know, what his strengths are, right?
100%.
And we know what his strengths are. He has power, he has size. And one thing that Derek said is athleticism. And I don't know what they're doing in Texas, man. I've seen clips and little, and I spoke to some people that are in the camp. They're saying AJ's showing that athleticism. So, there's no question.
He's a beast.
I don't want to act like Robert Garcia wasn't a good trainer. I just want to think that you got to be in a gym where you're not number one. After a while, to be humbled, you got to be in a gym where you're not the number one guy. And if he would leave and go in Robert Garcia's gym, you're not the number one guy anymore. You're going to see Virgil Ortiz and everybody else outworking you, perhaps. And I think that's going to be the difference that he has in Texas.
But just to add to that real quick, Darren, when you think
Darren, by the way, when these two are here, you got to jump in.
No comment. Matter of fact, put your mics down.
Just got to jump in.
Put your mics down. It's over.
Look, on a serious note, think about the guys that he's brought to the top, right? Errol Spence, aggressive power machine. He turned Jermell Charlo into a puncher and aggressive, right? So that's what we love to see in AJ. Right?
That's exactly what I was about to jump in and say there. I don't think it's too much. You're going to change too much, exactly what you said there. But it's going to be doing what he does on the front foot. Aggressive counter-punching, aggressive boxing on the front foot. I think it's a great move, and I think you touched on it there. Look, success breeds success. Not being number one. Wanting to be the best in the gym. Striving to be the best in the gym when you're not. I mean, I've been there myself. As an amateur, I've been from the famous Repton Amateur Boxing Club. I wanted my face on the wall. I wanted to be the best down the gym, and that constant competitive, I guess, battle all the time with your gym mates is great for AJ at this stage in his career.
You know what's crazy is that when Anthony went on that tour, that trainer tour in America, do you know, we spoke to every trainer he went to, they were all saying the same thing, what you just said, getting him on the front foot, and that they can make him beat Usyk and make him to a fighter that could beat Usyk. He just didn't translate.
Errol and Jamel used to say iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, there's a lot of iron in that gym.
I think the Bible says that first before.
Is it the Bible?
Yeah.
Canelo said if he spends time with Eddie, AJ will be able to beat every heavyweight in the world. So they all see the potential in it.
I like it. Talking about gyms, I actually did a training session. Your boy Trudy did a training session.
After the food session.
No, this was actually before the food. I told him it's got to be before the food. Eddie, myself, Derek James, AJ, take a look at this.
So what are you, left-handed or right-handed?
I'm right-handed sometimes.
Okay. So you here? So we're gonna punch and step.
Okay, so we're gonna do that.
Yep. Now we're gonna do two. So rotate the body.
Okay.
Let's go. Yep.
That.
Yeah. So now this time we're gonna go three. So it's gonna. So you're going 7. So 1, 2. And I'm not stepping here. I'm stepping here. We're just stepping to power. Boom.
Yeah. Okay. Anthony likes that left hook as well.
Right, yeah.
That's your good fight.
Because
That's
he's created the angle.
Yeah.
Right.
That's that left hook that you dropped Ruiz with.
Good uppercut and a hook. Puts Ruiz down. Wow, that was fast from Joshua.
Yeah. I remember that one. Yeah.
Boom. Right.
And I can't lie. I don't know how he got up. To this day, I don't know how he got up because you landed that knee. Here we go. So we're going.
Yeah.
Whoa, that is difficult. You lose balance.
You knock yourself out.
We're gonna get this. We're gonna keep on trying.
So
I thought that was a solid 4 out of 10.
I
was solid 4.
Yeah.
3, 4.
Because so much about it is that one.
One step.
Yeah. So you going.
The punches he's asking you to throw are actually the best 3 punches in boxing for orthodox, right?
Yeah.
The jab, the right hand,
and that hook,
the left hook.
Oh yes.
Joshua steps to his man, a big hook in the right hand. Joshua trying everything, a big right hand. And this is over. Joshua right hand, and down goes Pulev, and that's it. And there is your ferocious finish.
Wow. You know what I like? They edited that well for me.
We're gonna have to take.
They edited that well. If you see the full clip of that, it ain't great. And I didn't want you to see it, or you, but all of you actually, because all of you can throw hands. I was embarrassed. I think after AJ was like,
right to be embarrassed.
AJ was. What did AJ say? AJ said, "So wait, one sec. You critique all the fighters from your green chair. Get rid of the green chair." That's what he said. I'm not joking. That's what he said. He said, "Get rid of the green chair." It's a good link up, though, isn't it? I mean, AJ and Derek James almost seems like, I wouldn't say father and son, almost like sort of older brother, younger brother.
OG, so to speak.
OG. Yeah, that's kind of what a link up is, right?
It's going to turn out being teacher-student. You know, but they have a friendship, and I think that's what's different. They kind of blend off camera, and that's what it takes for him to listen a little bit easier, I believe.
But I think the real question is going to be answered on Saturday, especially if AJ looks spectacular. I think that relationship is really going to get curated.
You know what it is, though? A lot of times, like, we give so much slack to the trainer, like Robert Garcia or anybody. We got to know if AJ is following the game plan.
Still boxes to tick. There is. How much desire is left.
Yeah.
But what I will say, with that partnership there, you hear it time and time again, a happy fighter is a dangerous fighter. He looks happy. He looks like he's working hard, but he looks at home where he is.
Right.
He is. He looks a lot bigger as well. Again, we're going to have AJ on the top table in a few moments. He's going to join us as well. I'm going to need a step ladder. I'm going to need. He does look a lot bigger. It's that food. You see the food? It is that food. Darren's going to leave us. Darren, obviously, lead commentator for us before the bell. Loads of prep for Darren to do.
Yes.
This kicks off. I'm sorry, I do this. We've got more minutes to talk. We can talk more. Okay. Perfect. even great stuff there.
I'm leaving you to it.
No, stay there, Darren. Jermaine Franklin. Let's talk about Jermaine Franklin. Obviously, we're focusing on AJ, and rightly so. Jermaine Franklin's coming a lot slimmer. He's almost been hidden away as well. We don't know what's going on in fight camp with Jermaine Franklin. Right. What problems do you think he can cause to AJ? Is it the hand speed? A lot of people have been saying that.
Experience. I mean, he's been a fighter since a young age. We all know that AJ started late in this game, got fast-tracked to a gold medal and to championships. So I think Franklin brings the experience in there. A lot of people felt that he beat Dillian White. I'm going to put that out there. It was a very close fight. So he has that, I guess in his repertoire. Like, I don't really feel like I've lost the fight yet, I think. So I think he brings skill, set, all of those things that he'll pose a threat to any heavyweight. So that's what he brings to the table. I think it's all about what AJ's going to bring to that.
I think psychologically you could look at that and say, damn, he's losing weight. He's really getting into shape. But guess what? The dude had a job the other day.
Yeah.
This is the first fight where I'm going to make enough money where I don't have to work, so now I can put 100% in. So that's just the direct results.
He's going to be even more motivated right now.
Right. There's nobody in this thing more motivated than him because this could change his life right now. You know what I mean? But does he have the heart and the will to go through that kind of adversity when everybody's screaming at you and you're fighting to kill him?
I think he does have heart. I think we see that against Dillian White. There was times there where he could have shut up shop and just sort of survived, but he come firing back every single time.
Didn't give up.
I think on a tactical sort of basis, I think his footwork is crucial in this fight. If we're going to see AJ on the front foot, what we are expecting him to do, then Franklin's going to have to nullify that with his own movement. He's going to have to try and circle back to the center of the ring. He cannot be forced back onto the ropes. He cannot spend time on the ropes or in the corner. And I think, like you said there, hand speed is I mean, massive in this fight. He's got to try and draw out the lead of AJ and fire back with quick counters, but he's going to have to remain disciplined for every second of this fight, because if he gets caught, AJ can take your head off. We know that.
Have you guys heard of London traffic? Have you heard of that phrase, London traffic?
Experienced it on the way here.
Okay, well, we're experiencing it as well. The big boys are making their way, but there is a bit of traffic. There will be on that top table in a few moments. Remember, though, this is how you can watch the main event on Saturday night.
So you want to watch the big fight? Catch Anthony Joshua versus Jermaine Franklin on any device. TV, console, mobile or tablet. We're on it. Sign up at dazn.com, or if you're a Sky customer, simply visit channel 429 and get all AJ's fights as well as the ultimate boxing lineup.
That's a huge uppercut. Flush. And there you see Joshua just using that jab. Third knockdown of the fight for Anthony Joshua. Right hand, and down goes Pulev, and that's it. Oh! Watching him with a huge right uppercut. Power shots from both sides. Joshua's going for the wow! And that might just be that. Joshua unloading, and that'll do it.
Every time I watch the AJ Ruiz fight, I don't know why I do it to myself. I always watch it back, and it still shocks me. Every time I watch it, it still shocks me. And I think AJ done so well in going to the Middle East and getting those belts back. Right? Went a lot slimmer, changed his style, came from more a brawler to a boxer to do that. I'm going to commit the cardinal sin that you're never supposed to do here. I'm going to, for 1 minute, look past Franklin, just for 1 minute. If AJ does get past Franklin on Saturday, live and exclusive on DAZN, who would you want to see him in next in the summer?
Look, I've been saying it. I said it on the red carpet earlier. We talked about it a little while ago. I want to see AJ Wilder. I think that fight needs to happen in 2022. We all know that Fury and Usyk are still trying to work it out. It's off, it's on. I feel like Fury will turn around next week and say, you know what, the fight's back on and I agree to terms. So if those dudes are to the side and he does get past Franklin, because that's what, let's be honest, that's what we're expecting. And credit to AJ, though. I want to mention that earlier, the fact that we're talking about Franklin's experience, how good of a fighter he is, and AJ taking this fight after 2 losses, right? This is not a soft touch. This is a risky fight. This is live. A real risk. So if you get past that fight, to answer your question, Addy, it's Wilder.
Okay, you're Wilder. Go on.
I say that he's done everything in boxing already. He beat his rival, Dillian White. He became a 2-time champion. You know, he captured 3 belts one by one. But what he hasn't done is become lineal champion. So I think for his career, it's best to fight Fury.
He wants the Fury, Wilder, Fury, go on.
Next.
I'm saying next.
I'm going to have to agree with Wilder. I'd love to see Wilder, and I think it's the right time to fight Wilder. You don't want Wilder to be active. You don't want him to get his timing and his distance back. You want to get him now. I think this is the time to fight Wilder if you're AJ.
After what he did to Helenius?
Wait a minute, what do you mean?
Did you not see that? I'm going to go with you. I'm with you. So we've got 2 Wilders over there.
No, that's the biggest fight.
That's the biggest fight.
That's the biggest fight for me. I mean,
because America, you're bringing America here as well.
Well, there's rumors that Wilder might fight in Ghana. In Nigeria somewhere,
Yeah. I'm going with you. I'm going Fury.
Right, yeah.
I mean, with all this chaos right now with Fury and Usyk, will it happen? Won't it happen?
Yeah.
I want to see AJ Fury. I want to see it. It sells out a stadium in seconds. I mean, you say Wilder's the biggest fight. I would maybe argue that Fury AJ's enormous. It's enormous, but we'll see. We'll see.
Absolutely.
I guess after a big win Saturday night, I mean, if we see vintage AJ out there, I think these fans will start clamoring away for it. All right, we want the big fight. If Fury's not going to fight Usyk, let's get the AJ fight going. So I agree with you.
I think that everybody is popular in the UK because the UK are real fans, you know. But I think Wilder
throwing
taps
shots
in.
at your own countrymen, huh?
No.
I like it. I like what he's doing.
It is what it is.
They're going to stop him at the border.
It is. It depends on who pay me more. No, but I
They'll
think
stop him at global entry when you get out of it. Go back to the UK.
there is a fan base that Fury doesn't have in America. And Wilder has that community. And I think that's why it'll be a bigger fight. Because no matter what, if AJ's fighting a big guy like Wilder or Fury, this country's watching, no matter what.
Yeah.
So if you can get that portion that Wilder has in America, that's what makes it a bigger fight.
What it does show, Darren, though, is that the options are there for AJ once he goes through this, right? If he gets through Saturday, there are so many options. We haven't mentioned the Ruiz trilogy. I still feel like it's one apiece between those two. They can go again. Joyce is there. Frank Sanchez is there.
He's still a huge draw in the heavyweight division. Whether you have him number 3 or number 4, he's still massive. He's a cash cow. He's a former world champion. People want to fight him. He's got a target on his back. People want to get in there. People want to beat AJ, and he's still, like I say, a big name out there. Going back to the Wilder one, the Wilder's only had that one round. I think if he gets active, he gets rounds in the bank, that's when he becomes dangerous. That's when you get your time and your distance. So for me, AJ should get in there with him now. But
and let's be honest. Right now with Tank and Ryan happening and these other sides of the street supposed working together, I think there's hope for the Wilder AJ. At one point that was dead in the water, that fight. There was no negotiation at all. So I think there's a lot of hope now. So let's take advantage of it.
All right, Darren, you need to go. It's time that you go. AJ and Jermaine Franklin are in the building. April 1st kicks off a crazy month on the zone, but loads more as well.
Shots. These are boys to be reckoned with.
Chilling.
Just tie him up.
Fight fans, it is time for the main event.
And that's enough. What a season she's having.
What a month of April. Remember, it's not just world-class boxing that we bring you on the zone. The UEFA Women's Champions League is here as well, as is every live game from the new IPL cricket season. And for NFL fans, we haven't forgot you as well. We've got you covered with Game Pass, giving you all the gridiron access you need. Check your local schedules for availability. All right. Eddie Hearn isn't quite there yet, but you can see all the rest of them there. Anthony Joshua is there. Joe Markowski's there. By the way, Jermaine Franklin has just walked past me. He has definitely lost a bit of weight. So Jermaine Franklin, we know, and I mentioned it earlier with Ak and Barak, he's definitely been hiding away, doing the sessions, and he looks in incredible shape, a lot better than he did against Dillian White. We are nearly going to kick off. You can see both guys behind me. Eddie Hearn is in place for this one. So it's the one you've all been waiting for. It's Anthony Joshua versus Jermaine Franklin. It's been billed as New Dawn. I think Eddie Hearn's ready now to kick off the main event press conference.
The New Dawn of Anthony Joshua. Live exclusively on the zone. Rising with a clear mission. Come back stronger. Full focus. Working around the clock. From dawn till dark. Restless. Relentless. Ready. specialist in the ring. Witness the rise, live only on the zone.
Well, welcome back to London ahead of a huge night on Saturday night. From the O2 Arena, the Lion's Den, the scene of so many great Anthony Joshua nights, we return there for perhaps one of the most important fights of his career. Anthony Joshua takes on Jermaine Franklin, live and exclusive on DAZN around the world. We cannot wait for the return. It's been nearly 10 years since Anthony Joshua turned professional, 7 years since he performed at the O2 Arena, just a couple of hundred tickets away from a complete sellout, as we look forward to a great night of boxing, great undercard, and a big heavyweight night for Anthony Joshua back at the O2. Of course, this time around on DAZN, we're delighted to welcome Joe Markowski and the team, our global broadcast partner, as the growth continues in the US and in the UK, just an unrivaled schedule and value for money for the customer. We know, as always, available on the iPhone, on the tablet, through the smart TV, but now, of course, via Sky, channel 429, via Virgin, and also in the pubs. What you've been asking for so long as this platform continues to grow globally on a major night for DAZN this Saturday with the first fight of Anthony Joshua's new contract. And before we talk about the fight, we're going to go down to Joe Markowski to talk about what is a huge night for DAZN on Saturday.
Yes, well, thank you, Eddie, and thank you for you all for being here today. A huge night for us, as you say, as part of a huge schedule this spring in the UK and around the world. Several homecomings. Canelo's homecoming on May the 6th. Katie Taylor's homecoming in Ireland on May the 20th. And of course, AJ's homecoming of sorts also in London at the O2 this weekend. Having worked with AJ for several years now around the world, we are delighted and very proud to be the exclusive broadcaster in the UK for AJ's career and for this fight this Saturday night. You've talked about our increased distribution. We're extremely excited about making this content available via DAZN to anyone on any screen. And we're extremely excited about what Saturday night brings, what it means for AJ's career, what it means for our business, what it means for our partnership with Matchroom. So we're tremendously excited and we're looking forward to Saturday night.
Yeah, you talk about that schedule upcoming, a huge couple of months, of course, starts with AJ. You talk about homecomings. Jesse Rodriguez next week trying to become a two-division world champion. A couple of weeks after that, Joe Caldina trying to become a two-time champion in Wales. Throw in the Misfits, throw in the Golden Boy shows, throw in additional boxing to be announced soon on DAZN. Unrivaled schedule moving forward, and the plan to keep locking in those big nights as we progress in the months of 2023.
Absolutely. We're going to keep investing in the best quality boxing schedule we can deliver. But this week's all about AJ. It's all about delivering value to our customers. The fight's available within your DAZN subscription in the UK, available via all those channels that you mentioned. So we're tremendously excited, very proud, and looking forward to a big night on Saturday night.
Thank you, Joe. We go to the fight of what is and has become one of the most important in the heavyweight division right now. As we said, Anthony Joshua last at the O2 7 years ago. The first fight for 7 years that doesn't involve a world title. On one hand, people talk about a dominant performance leading to Tyson Fury or a shot to become a three-time world champion. On the other hand, a bad performance can lead to the end of the road. High-level pressure on Saturday night at the O2. And this man to my left looking to derail that momentum. And welcome to the team. Firstly, Dimitri Salita, welcome. You're a big boxing fan, obviously, and you're always excited, especially when your guy has the opportunity of the underdog in this fight. You saw him put a great performance against Dillian Whyte. You weren't very happy with me that night. You felt that he won, and you actually said to me in the ring that night, he won that fight. Please give him the opportunity to fight Anthony Joshua, and we're just a couple of days away from that now.
Well, we're very grateful for the opportunity and always love being in England for big fights. Very grateful and very honored. As Muhammad Ali used to say, the will has to be bigger than the skill. And in this fight, Jermaine's will is going to be bigger than Anthony Joshua's skill. Anthony Joshua is a great fighter, someone that I look up to and admired for many, many years and still admire. He's a great fighter. The show is appropriately called New Dawn and New Day because a new day is coming with Jermaine Franklin. I've seen him train in Florida several weeks ago. He looks in incredible shape. His trainer for many, many years, Jesse, is going to be in his corner, had a great camp, and we're looking forward to a big upset.
What wins this fight for Jermaine Franklin? I mean, you know, we talk backstage, you have a genuine look of excitement and belief in your eyes. You talk a great game up here, but you believe he wins this fight, and you believe he does it how?
I believe that as fighters, we have 4 things that drive us. So Anthony Joshua is a world champion, made tremendous paydays, is a celebrity, great fighter. He's accomplished everything. In the ring, when you're faced with a feeling of being uncomfortable, you think about all these forces that drive you. And Anthony Joshua has accomplished all these things. Jermaine Franklin is a hungry fighter who has the skills and the potential to accomplish this. And every day of this training camp, every day of his life, he's been dreaming about this moment. I believe that Anthony, at this stage of his career, has to think about, has to have his trainer motivate him, has to have a sports psychologist or whatever it is, different outward sources motivate him to be successful. Jermaine, on the other hand, is internally motivated from the time he gets up to the time he goes to sleep. His dreams are of winning this fight. And I believe when Jermaine is going to make Joshua uncomfortable, those are our keys to victory.
Well, let's talk to the trainers. Jesse Addison, welcome. You were on great form for the last fight with Dillian Whyte, and you come to this fight full of confidence as well, and I guess full of Jermaine believing now that he is a true elite heavyweight after that last performance. He looks in tremendous shape. He says he didn't really leave the gym after the Dillian Whyte fight. You come with the same confidence as you did for that fight week press conference as well?
Of course, I come with even more confidence. We went to training camp in Florida. We had a very nice training camp. I got a chance to do things the way that I wanted to do, the way that I know was best fit for Jermaine, and we put a lot of assignments out in front of him, and he passed every assignment. So now we're just looking to pass a big test Saturday.
Obviously, there's a lot of respect from both teams, but what do you see in this fight that gives you the confidence that Jermaine wins this? What are the keys to victory for him on Saturday?
Hard work. He had worked very, very hard. He had worked extremely hard. Like I say, we went to Florida. We dug down real deep. We trained in the morning. We trained in the evening. We trained at night. We didn't rest. We just trained. And so Jermaine is ready. He's ready for this fight. This is something that I prepared him for. I told him that one day he will be up against Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury. And so now, you know, that plan is coming a reality.
Obviously a lot of pressure on Anthony Joshua as well. You feel that you got him at the right time. He needs to bounce back with victory, new training team as well, but you believe he's there for the taking on Saturday night?
Well, at any given time that a fighter get in the ring, he's there for the taking. I respect everything that Anthony Joshua has accomplished as a fighter. He's a great fighter. I don't feel like that if he loses this fight, his career is over. You know, that's just a new era of boxing. Back when Muhammad Ali and George Foreman and Joe Frazier, them guys were losing fights on the regular, but they would come right back and they'll fight for a world championship. And I think that's where we're going back to now, because we got so many gifted heavyweights out there. But yeah, of course, when Jermaine get in there with him this Saturday night, he will suffer a loss.
We expect a great fight. You have two good heavyweights, and in the opposite corner you have a big, strong heavyweight with fast hands that can really punch as well. It's going to be an explosive fight. You see your man winning inside the distance on Saturday?
I see my man winning. I see my man winning the fight. If we win by knockout, he'll win the fight. If we have to go decision, he'll win the fight. As far as him being a big man, we don't worry about that. Jermaine have been fighting big mans his whole career. Going through the amateurs, we fought guys that was 6'6", 6'7", 6'8". He was the shortest man in the division. And in the amateur tournament, this is a tournament where you don't even get a chance to prepare. You fight one day, you fight the next day, and go on. So we well prepared for this.
In the opposing corner, Derek James. Derek, welcome. Your first fight under Anthony Joshua. I was there just a couple of weeks ago in the gym watching you guys work hard. A good camp, a good experience, a good pupil as well. People talk about dedication, people talk about desire. You see that in droves from Anthony Joshua.
No doubt, yeah. I mean, I think that, first of all, I'm happy to be here, you know, and I think that I learned a lot about Anthony from his dedication and the fact that he has always a student. He's always wants more and wants more and wants more. And so I think that today, I mean, this Saturday, it'll be a night where we'll show everything that we've been working on.
obviously an unbelievable career, 7 years of world championship fights as well. This is the kind of fight that if we're talking about regaining the world heavyweight title, fighting the likes of Wilder and Fury and those kind of guys, do we look for a statement here, victory by any means necessary, expecting a tough fight against this man as well?
I think that Jermaine Franklin is a very tough fighter. I think that for me, I really don't care about how we get it. I just care that we get it. You know what I mean? I think that, or if it's get to a point to where I could see it, let's go get it. I'm like, let's go get it right now. But I think that initially he's just going in there, it's all about winning the fight. Regardless of how he wins, I don't care about that. I just care that he comes out victorious, and if I see the knockout, let's go get him. If he's ready to take him, let's take him. I'm going to tell him.
And finally as well, for you as a trainer of the year last year, of course, great relationships with some pound-for-pound great fighters, but a big night for you in your career as well. It's going to be a packed-out, sold-out show on Saturday night. The eyes of the world watching this man as well. You're excited as well with all your experience in the sport, and you two seem to have a great relationship. It means a lot on Saturday.
Yeah, like I said, I'm happy to be here. This is my first fight as a heavyweight trainer. You know what I mean? So, and you're coming over to the UK, and everybody's been very receptive, very nice. So it's good. I mean, we come out to. It's all about the focus. It's all about how he's focused and how much he's dedicated, how much he sacrificed to be here. He sacrifices a lot to leave the comfort of the UK to come to Dallas. Even in the wintertime, it was hot. So it's like, you sacrifice. And that's what it's all about. Everybody's working hard. Everybody's pushing. But it's always about what you're willing to give up to be successful. Because everybody's working hard. But everybody's not willing to give up something. And he was willing to give up something. And you're going to see how that pays off on Saturday.
Thank you, Derek. Jermaine, welcome back. I see a different Jermaine Franklin this time around, for the Dillian Whyte fight. I don't know whether you really believed in yourself. You'd never boxed at that level. You put a great performance in. You felt that you won the fight. It was a good competitive fight. This time, you look lighter, you look leaner, you look full of confidence as well. And as far as opportunities go in the heavyweight game, probably the biggest is presented to you on Saturday night.
First off, I want to say it's an honor to be back, and I appreciate the opportunity. But in the beginning, I've just been on a little health journey, so change my eating habits, change stuff I was consuming. Body weight just started falling off, But we have more time to prepare for this fight, so I'm more ready. I'm more in shape. I'm just ready to let the fireworks go.
You speak with a lot of confidence to the media in the build-up to this fight, as you did in the Dillian Whyte fight as well. Different kind of challenge in Anthony Joshua, different kind of style as well, faster heavyweight, but still, you fought a big, strong heavyweight in Dillian Whyte as well. You've been watching this man, I'm sure, like many have over the years, always believed that you could beat him.
I mean, I'm just a huge fan of the sport. I watch a lot of boxing, so I watched AJ fights way before we even had this opportunity or thought it was possible. I'm just a huge fan of the sport, but yeah, my confidence is always great. I think you in the wrong business if you don't truly believe in yourself. It's not the right game for you. So you always have to have the extreme utmost confidence in yourself, and you just have to put the faith and the works behind it.
I've seen many interviews where you say you're gonna knock him the fuck out. Is that the plan on Saturday?
That's what I'm trying to do. I mean, I'm gonna get the win by any means possible, but if I can put him on his ass, that's what I'm gonna try to do.
And you believe that's possible? You look at where he's at in his career right now, the fights that he's been in.
I mean, anything is possible. I come from a place with not a lot of possibilities, so I made it this far. Anything is possible.
And finally, when you fight Anthony Joshua, we know the eyes of the world are watching as well. Is that part of the motivation going into this fight? You know that the World Heavyweight Championship comes through victory on this fight.
My passion for the sport. My team and my family. That's all the motivation I need.
And finally, Saturday night, you believe you are victorious. Great fight last time, but in front of 17,000 people at the O2, live on DAZN around the world, Jermaine Franklin beats Anthony Joshua on Saturday.
That's how I believe it happens Saturday. I believe my hands get raised at the end of the fight.
AJ, back in the UK, feels good. I know you always say you don't care where you fight, but going back to that changing room where you made your professional debut, going back to that changing room where you won the Commonwealth title, the British title night against Dillian Whyte, the world title against Charles Martin, the defence against Brazil. It's been an unbelievable journey, 10 years this year since this all began. And some say Saturday night, although you will say, and many fighters will say, just another fight. A lot of people saying one of the most important of your career.
Yeah, it's big. It's massive. It's a big fight for me, for sure. Respect my opponent fully. I respect everything that he says he's been through, and we're here to rock and roll. And I respect my supporters as well, so I put in the work. And I respect my coach as well, so I want to make sure I go out there and I get the job done in good fashion. I like the fact that you always dangle carrots in front of me, telling me if you do this, then this is here and that's there, always leading on to big things. And I dream big, and I want bigger and better things in my life. As I stated in the last press conference, you know, I want to secure the bag and move on in my life.
This time around, Derek James, one voice, and I know that, you know, that's been refreshing for you as well. How much have you enjoyed that experience? You seem to have a close relationship already, a lot of respect and trust on Saturday night, and looking forward to going through the process of warming up, listening to coach in the corner and executing the game plan.
Yeah, the goal's not to make it back to the corner. The goal's to take him out. And I respect Derek fully, and I trust everything he's been saying. Like, when you're a student of the game, there's certain times where you can be on the same level as people that you speak to about boxing. But when I speak to Derek, and I obviously ask him certain questions, the knowledge he spits is phenomenal. Like, the knowledge that he gives me is really, really, really good. And we're at a stage now, like, when you're at this side of the fight, the physical work's done. All fighters know, like, fight week, you're still training because it's just part of our nature, but the physical work's done. It's all about the knowledge. That's where you got to train your mind. And honestly, Derek is up there as one of the best people I spoke to about boxing. So I appreciate his time. I appreciate the fact that he took me on, because I'm sure he's a well sought after coach. And yeah, man, I'm just looking forward to showing him that he ain't wasted his time by taking on this project.
When I came to Dallas a couple of weeks ago, I was quite surprised by the simplicity, but I know you don't overthink surroundings in camp, but it was very different to what you've been working with over the last couple of years. I know you never wanted that kind of attention, but it was refreshing to see just the hard work and the basics of boxing that you reverted to there.
Yeah. When you strip boxing back, it is very basic. A lot of it's down to self-belief, number one. That's how you start off. And then, as I said, knowledge. You just gain knowledge and you just apply it in the ring. You fight with desire, and then you can add some skills along the way. I was based in the Olympic gym in Sheffield for years. Obviously, that's a big setup because you've got hundreds of fighters, international fighters coming in. But in the world-class boxing gym in Texas, just a few of us pros just putting in the groundwork. And as you said, that's probably what you saw was different, is I'm not around like hundreds of other fighters in the gym. It's just like 3 or 4 of us just putting in work. But like, when you disconnect from everything, which is hard to do in this day and age, we're so connected, I took myself away to disconnect, and all the answers, well, all the questions I've been asking myself, the answers came in that like quiet time, do you know what I mean? And it's been a good camp, and it's good to be back in the UK, but everyone knows the UK is a little bit dead now. You know what I mean? So I just can't wait to get back out to Texas and get back to putting in work.
This guy says he's going to knock you out. You've heard it a million times as well, but you're always a scout, and there will be people that say this is a great time to be fighting Anthony Joshua, but maybe
it's the worst time.
Exactly. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, the more he talks, the bigger grave he digs for himself, but it is what it is, isn't it? I could say a lot of things about him, but I respect my opponent. It's not for me to talk, it's for you to do all the talking. It's for me to like do my job on Saturday. And that's just really, honestly, what I'm focused on. As I said, like from round 1 to round 12, I'm prepared for a 12-rounder, but I do believe in my ability, my counter-punching and all that type of stuff to definitely put a dent in Jermaine. But as I said, I'm not here to talk, I'll just do what I have to do because I really want to win.
And that desire, we know it's still there. You're looking forward to, we know you say you're not an entertainer, but you have entertained the public for so many years. They will be out watching in huge numbers on Saturday night to see where you're at, I guess. And personally, for all the hard work you've put in, you want to put a statement together on Saturday night for the work that you've put in.
Yeah, and that's personal. And as I said, that's to show my coach, like, I respect everything that the time that he's put in with me. So, in terms of entertaining, I don't really like, as we see, but we don't play boxing. But at the same time, like, people from years back, like, the empires, they've just loved people coming together and fighting, so they'll be entertained regardless. I think we'll see blood, and I just really look forward to getting in there. I'm so happy I'm fighting again because, as I said, looking at the champions, it's just a shambles. Like when you're trying to compete mandatories or negotiations, honestly, like I just can't believe that no fights have been made at the championship level. But I'm just so happy that I can get back to work and get on with my job, and I'm looking forward to this assignment, and I can't wait. Honestly, I'm really looking forward to it.
The final word from both camps, Jermaine. I know victory by any means necessary is a standard line, but quite boring to some people. How do you win this fight on Saturday night?
I win by any means necessary. You know, like I said, if we could get the knockout, that's what we're going for. If not, then we win by points, but we dominate.
And AJ, you going with a standard line, or are you going to take this guy out on Saturday night?
What's going to happen? I'm going to come out, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do... As you said, by any means necessary. We're just here to do a job. And as I said, like, I respect my opponent, may the best man win. And one thing he said is like, oh, he started eating right for this camp and all that stuff. I think he's dealing with someone that's been living right from the get-go. Like, I've been putting in work from the day I started this business. So, yeah, it's going to be a good fight because he's up against a real one, for sure.
Well, one of the most important of Anthony Joshua's career on Saturday night, April the 1st, live on DAZN around the world from the O2 in London. Anthony Joshua against Jermaine Franklin. Wherever you are, do not miss it. We're going to have a face-to-face up here and then additional media on the red carpet. Thank you.
I like it. I like that, what feels like a bit of extra aggression from AJ. A man of few words, but he made sure his words had meaning to them today.
Yeah, what he just said there, you know, before he left. Derek wasn't dealing with a guy that isn't a professional from the very beginning of his career. So that tells me that he didn't have much to do, like, with him. Like, it wasn't a lot of change that he had to make. Just, I guess, bring the best out of him.
You know how Darren Barker was talking about AJ fighting on the front foot? Well, this is AJ on the front foot and counterpunching verbally. You know, he said things like, "You just digging a deeper grave."
Yeah, that scared me. That scared me. Yeah, I saw Jermaine Franklin looking forward. As soon as AJ did that, he looked at him.
Yeah.
He looked at him
and
as
he
well.
kind of smirked like, "Oh, all right, okay."
Yeah. What was interesting there was AJ mentioned it a lot of times. I don't want to let Derek James down.
Yeah.
Like, he's almost like Derek James is taking a gamble on him. AJ is a former unified heavyweight champion, but I don't want to let Derek James down. He kept on saying that.
Well, it's still a challenge for Derek James. I mean, look, he even said he's never trained a heavyweight before, and this guy has already been unified champ of the world. So he wants to keep that legacy going as a trainer as well. I mean, he wants that win count.
Here we go, face to face. Let's have a look at this. Yeah.
The size difference is always there with AJ for the most part.
Definitely a size difference. Look at that. I like to look at the face. That's it. I always study AJ's face because he kind of wears his emotions on his sleeves sometimes, and I just want to see what is he thinking right now.
What is Franklin thinking right now?
He looks like AJ. Look like he's saying, "I'm going to punish him."
Yeah, that's what it looks
exactly
like. This is, if you're looking at me, I'm built for destruction.
Yeah.
Whereas I think Franklin looks, he's chiseled. Look at his jaw. He looks chiseled. He looks in great shape.
Is he saying now, wow, like, you know,
you're a big guy.
This is a big guy. This is not Dylan White who won't face him on Saturday night, but it still looks confident.
I think Franklin is just comfortable. I think this is something he's been doing since he was young.
Exactly.
He's just comfortable. I think it's less pressure on him.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So I think he's comfortable. And to go back to that comment about AJ, what you were saying about him saying about his trainer, I think that's just his respect and his appreciation for his trainer. So he just doesn't want to, he doesn't want to take that time that he took out for him for granted. Damn, look how big AJ looks.
He looks big. He looks big. I'm going to ask him that. He hates talking about the size question, but I'm going to ask him the size question. I've got to look. Both fighters.
What are you going to ask him? How big is?
I'm going to say, how much do you weigh? I'm going to say, how much do you weigh right now? Because he's been as big as 18 stone 4 for Carlos Takam. I thought that was a bit too big, and he's been as low as I think 16-11 for Andy
American pounds.
I'll convert it after this. Both fighters are going to join us, so don't go anywhere. We're going to hear from Anthony Joshua and from Jermaine Franklin. The press conference may be done, but fight week is just getting started. On Friday, we're going to bring you the weigh-in live from Westfield Shopping Centre in Shepherd's Bush. Then on Saturday, we have 10 fights for you, 5 on Before the Bell, which gets going at 3:45 ahead of 5 more on the main card from 7 o'clock, culminating in the big one, Anthony Joshua versus Jermaine Franklin. AJ is going to make his way over to us. It's weird because he's trying to make his way over to us, Anthony Joshua, but he's literally shaking hands with every single person as he comes.
Do you think he likes that?
I think he likes doing that. I think, you know, he appreciates that people have come out to him.
I don't know.
People have come out to him. Here comes the big man.
How's things?
Not bad. Is this reinforced, what we're standing on right now? Is it reinforced? How are you, big man? How's things?
Yes. Good to be here. Good to see you guys. Obviously, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
Since I've seen you both.
No, he took our place over here. He said, we need somebody local over here.
Shift over a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's good to see you guys. When was the last time you was in the UK?
Usyk, for the first Usyk fight, 2021.
It's been a long time
since then, yeah.
That's when you change all across the board. Stop following everybody on Instagram. Including us.
Let me tell you how to use Insta. Let me show you how to use Insta. I was telling my friend about this the other day. So if you only follow the people that you already know, when you go online, you tend to see things that you already probably know about someone.
Right.
Yeah, you spoke to your friend, they're on holiday, you spoke to this person, they're working. So what I've done, I've only followed things that are out of my reach and things that I have a vast interest in.
Okay.
Could be the animal planet, the universe,
In other
whatever.
words, he's not interested in us, bro.
I can see that.
No.
So, follow things that you have complete interest in outside of your general knowledge. And that's how I use it. That's why I feel like I get the most out of social media now. And my Explore page.
Were you guys hurt by it?
You always got the right thing.
You guys hurt by it?
I was a little tiny hurt. I was like, yo, I called Barack. I was like, yo.
I messaged
him. I got the phone call. And I got a message. It's like, Addy, I'm changing up here. Switching up a little bit. No, I got it indeed. When did you get into the country?
A week ago, about 10 days ago.
Yeah.
Well, last Thursday, 10 days ago or so.
I feel like we haven't seen much of this Dallas fight camp, which I actually like. I like almost the hidden away, and then you come out, and then we see a different AJ, a new AJ, maybe the same AJ. What's it been like in Dallas, Texas?
That's been good. It's how to expect. It's obviously like I could talk about the heat, but it ain't about Dallas. It's about the coach.
Right.
Yeah.
And Derek James, I don't want to put pressure on him and say like, whatever happens in my career, I'm going to put down to me.
Yeah.
But I feel like Derek James as an individual is one of the best coaches I've seen and I've spoken to. And I really respect him. So you put Derek James in anywhere in America, anywhere in the UK, I would still get the benefits of working with him. But just in general, Texas, it's warm, it's out of the way. But I'm there for Derek James.
What would you say, what moment you would say during camp where you said to yourself, take me back to that moment where you said, okay, I made the right decision, I'm in the right place?
It's interesting. So when I made that comment to myself was basically when it got really tough, I said, "Isn't this what I searched for?"
Right.
Isn't this what I've been looking for?
You wanted to be pushed to the limit.
You see what I'm trying to say? So in a way, it was like that's when I found out that this is where I wanted to be, because I said to myself, this is what I've been searching for. So why am I saying, like, you know, sometimes athletes, they get back, I'm in the car like, man, this guy's crazy.
It's 150 degrees out here.
Yeah, he's a hard worker. And remember, he only retired like 13 years ago.
True.
So he knows, he's got that fresh memory of what it's like to be in tough fights. So I like that. I like that fact as well, that he pushes me. He knows how to get me fight fit. Not just, I'm going to get you fit for like what I'm doing today. I'm trying to get you fight fit. So everything that you think I'm doing now, don't worry about it. Just keep on pushing through, because I've got a goal to get you towards a fight.
Right. We spoke to Derek James, and he was like, past the training, I like him as a friend. Like, we could talk. Like, you guys could sit there and talk. And you said that he taught you a lot of things, and he's one of the smartest guys you know. But what was the first thing he told you where you said, oh, snap, this guy is smart?
Yeah, man, you got to put some dick on that right hand, man.
Texas
the
on
slang,
you. I don't know
the slang in America is
different.
Yeah, so the slang in America is different. But,
what about the other guys in the gym? Did you spend all your time with Errol Spence and Jamal Charlo?
Obviously,
what do you
we
get
train
from
at
those
different
guys?
times.
Right.
But one thing I like about the States is when you're talking about music, entertainment, Hollywood, boxing. I feel like a lot of the best athletes have come from the environment. So when you talk about like Derek James, he's probably been in the gyms of the Mayweathers coming up and Tysons, and so I can get first-hand knowledge and experience. And being around Errol and these guys as well, is they've obviously, like Errol, that rumor about him sparring Mayweather and this and that. So they've learned things from being around one of the greatest fighters of all time. So I'm around the environment. Now, when I see him working, I'm saying, rah, he just went 45 minutes non-stop. And then he's gone and done another 45 minutes. Errol, I can see why he's got the success he's got firsthand. When I'm in the UK, UK's been good. Like, I love UK boxing. But I think every fighter coming up should try and travel to the States or Russia or wherever it may be that they're in Cuba and go and learn from people that have a long line of success in their country. Because, like, as I said up there, knowledge. If you can gain some information, I think you can go far. And being in that gym, I'm getting so much knowledge by just watching as well.
So we all talking about, oh, we think we're going to see a new AJ. I think you're excited to show what you got buried down, right, that you just learned.
I'm excited to fight.
Oh, okay.
I'm excited to fight. That's the main thing. I'm looking forward to getting in there and doing my job. And I could definitely say that there's things that I know as a fighter, but a good coach will always reinforce these things, yeah?
That's what I'm talking about.
And I feel like he's just kind of, but it's the basics. It's the basics. And I heard one saying where, like, Kobe, like, I'm not saying I'm like on Kobe's level, but they said that it was crazy to see him warm up because someone at his stature, you would think he'd be doing some crazy training, but he just done the basics really well. And Derek
like
James,
putting the dick on the right hand. the basic.
You got to put that, you know what I'm saying? So Derek's telling me, listen, you got to rotate with them punches, and that's like, use your body, don't use your shoulders, use your body. That's how you set that up.
I'm happy you mentioned body because you do look bigger. Yeah, you look a lot bigger. Is it on purpose if you put a bit of extra size on for destruction, or is it just a case of those chopping trees and that Texas barbecue?
So, interestingly, when you talk about the weight stuff, we were talking about in the gym today, so we come straight from the gym, what do you weigh? The guy was asking me that owns the gym. I said, I don't really train for a specific weight because I'm a heavyweight. I just train and go for feeling. But I think the thing maybe why you're seeing the weight now is look, when you've lost a few times, you have to do things properly in order to come back. So in terms of what it's come down to is nutrition and sleep. When I first started, I used to be on the weights, SEC and all that stuff. But when you go 12 rounds a few times, and I know like Jermaine Franklin, I think he's fit. He can do the 12 rounds and he does them well. Weights don't win fights. They help, but they don't win fights. So I haven't been doing the weights, but what I've been doing is putting the right nutrition in me. And, feeding my body. And I think that the results are the hard work I'm doing in the gym, sparring, heavy bag, mitt work, shadow boxing. When you're feeding your body after a hard session, your body's just getting stronger.
It just absorbs that food.
Absorbs that food. Before, I would just kind of leave the gym. I wouldn't eat for 4 or 5 hours until I'm home, I'm showered, and my body's depleting. Now I'm eating, putting it back on. And I think that's where you're seeing.
AJ, we're talking about this Derek James talk and how comfortable you feel in Texas. Has anybody from the old regime reached out at least with positive vibes saying good luck or I'm going to be at the fight? I'm talking about McCracken and those guys.
I haven't spoken to McCracken. Unfortunately, you know that whole breakup, like that breakup. But that whole it was tough. It was tough because
it's a long relationship.
Yeah, man, you got a lot of respect for these guys, but at the same time, it's like I always say it with my friends and my family as well. When I'm at war and I'm fighting, I can't always be the guy maintaining relationships as well. And yeah, some people haven't even reached out to me as well. But I know when I'm done boxing, I can then go and sit down and spend time. But I'm in camp. But yeah, I respect them. Other people from other places like Virgil, I went to see Virgil Hunter, we talk, Ronnie Shields, we're still cool and all that. But from my Angel Fernandez, Joby Clayton, Sean Murphy, but Rob, we haven't really had too much dialogue. Rob's always been like that. He's a busy man.
It will happen. You'll speak to Rob. It's just going to happen.
He's a busy man. He's a busy man.
You were ringside for the Jermaine Franklin Dillian White fight. There was a lot of talk of if Dillian White won that fight, it would have been Dillian White. It's Jermaine Franklin. What did you get from Jermaine Franklin, seeing him up close in person for that fight?
Good counter puncher, very good, how to explain it? Like comfortable at...
Yes.
In the pocket.
Yeah, like I'm a big guy, so people expect me to be upright. It's probably easier to hit. He's not like that. He's not. You don't really get hit with 1-2s. When you look at Jermaine Franklin, you don't really get hit with 1-2. Kind of steps back, sits down on his punches, slips and slides. He's a good operator in that ring. Very efficient. Very efficient. He done the rounds with Dylan. That's why I feel like the Jermaine Franklin I'm facing is going to be better than what I saw that night.
He physically looks a lot better already.
And I've learned as well, like, don't underestimate anyone. Be on my game, even though I'm not worried about, like, what anyone does in the ring because I'm too invested in them. I've got to focus on myself. So I don't underestimate him, but I've got to kind of focus on myself and be fully focused.
You think Dillian Whyte won that fight?
Do you want me to be honest?
Yeah.
I didn't really care who won the fight. I swear to you, I wasn't even watching it for that. So, do you know what it is? I think
you didn't even think you was going to fight neither one of them anyway, right? At the time? Or maybe Dillian. Maybe
Dylan. Or Jermaine. Eddie was kind of saying whoever wins is going to
Okay.
I trusted Dylan. I didn't care. But what I saw in that fight, I think Dylan, what he was doing, he was riding a lot of the shots. He come with that new...
new defense.
Little Buddy McGurk.
So
Joe George Foreman.
So even though Franklin was letting off maybe more punches per round, I think Dylan thought he was blocking him. But from where we're sitting, we can see Jermaine throwing punches, so it looks like he won. So I think like in the fight game, Dylan's so experienced now, he thought he can just tuck up and win the fight that way, but work rate wins the fight. You got to be seen to be the busier man.
What was your first impression? They're in my ear, he's got to go. They're in my ear, they're saying AJ's got to go. Now go on. One more.
He said, hold on, producer.
If AJ says, hold on, we got 2 more minutes.
No, listen, what's your take on all of the Fury Usyk talk and that fight finally falling apart? Like, what was your first impression when you heard this off?
I looked at myself and I thought, thank God I'm not the champion because, no, real talk, because I'm fighting Saturday. You know, as a fighter, it's so important to stay busy and stay active. It's the only way you get better. You have to be consistently fighting. And these long layoffs that we're having ain't good for the development of a fighter, and we're getting older and the years are going by. So that's the first thing I thought, like, damn, if I was in that position, I'll be switching because before that, I fought September 2021, I fought August. 2022, then I won't be fighting until July. It's too much. And it's just crazy. Honestly, it's crazy. You know, the heavyweight championship belt should be getting fought.
Exactly.
Yeah? As much as possible, Defending. He loses it, he goes and defends it. Brings excitement to the game.
All right, go on, Brett. He's got to go. Brett, we got to go. He's got to go.
No, go. Listen, see, he said go ahead. Last one. I never heard your take on this. I heard Eddie Hearn, and I know what I think on this. Eddie Hearn was like, we need to go back to the drawing board and get like a top 15 guy. I think this guy is, this is not taking a break. This is not taking a soft touch. This is a real fight. Is that how you feel? Like, this is the top guy.
Yeah. I respect Jermaine. I respect Jermaine. I respect myself. I respect him, for sure. I don't know where he's ranked in the rankings, but remember, I just come off of 2 losses and...
But still, you're not getting a soft touch.
I feel like it's crazy of me to get a soft touch. I think that's not the right...
That's what I wanted to hear.
It's not the right place for me to be in my career because when you get soft touches, it builds a full sense of confidence. And when you get thrown into the real,
with the real lions,
you're going to be like, I'm not used to it. So I'd rather have it tough. I'm looking forward to a tough fight on Saturday because I feel like we're going to get set up for a bigger fight in the summer.
You get yours in now.
No, I've got to wrap it. I can't even get it. I've got to wrap it. I've got to wrap it.
Everyone at home, I appreciate you guys as well. And you guys, it's good to see you. Good to see you as well.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
And I'll catch up with you soon, yeah?
Indeed. The Zone, the home of AJ. Make sure you scan your QR code if you don't want to miss this fight on Saturday. Talking about Jermaine Franklin, he's waiting as well. So we're going to speak to Jermaine Franklin when we come back.
All right, cool.
Certain fighters, they wait for the belt. That's not a true warrior. A true warrior will wait until the referee rips you apart.
I've been in many defining moments in my career.
Dillian Whyte fight, which was a straight-out war.
These are all times that will add to the legacy.
So he's getting up from that.
It was tough, but it made me.
All right, look at this. By the power of magic, boom, Jermaine Franklin appears. By the way, first thing seeing you're lean. You're lean in the face. I mean, I interviewed you straight after the Dillian Whyte fight, and you look like you've lost about 20 pounds.
Yeah, I lost about 20-something. 20-something. Just been on a health journey. Outside of boxing, you know, got health problems running the family, so just been changing my life, you know.
There you go.
Yeah.
Were you even thinking about the weight, or you was just like, I'm just getting in shape?
No, it was just a general decision. Like me and my girl stopped eating red meat. You know, I've been juicing more, trying not to eat processed stuff a lot. So when we started working out, I probably had lost like 6 or 7 pounds before I went back to the gym. When we started working out, I couldn't even keep the weight on.
How did it feel though physically? You know, after making that lifestyle change and eating clean and changing the
way
life,
better.
like working out in the gym.
I got a ton of more energy.
Right?
I don't be sluggish or nothing no more. I recover faster. It's like a handful of just incitements and things about it. It just changed the whole lifestyle basically.
All right, let's get to the big one. You versus AJ on Saturday. You saw him. There's a face-to-face at the red carpet event the other day. You saw him again today. What's it like when you're seeing him that close up and personal, and physically he looks a lot bigger as well?
I mean, I just try to stare at people's soul a little bit. See how they feeling. I'm big off of energy. I want to see if your energy feels confident enough.
What'd you see?
I didn't see the confidence. I sensed a little worriness.
Because this is one time that I would say I saw the confidence. I thought.
No,
I saw comfortability that sometimes you don't see enough.
I didn't see it. I seen a little bit of worriness, a little bit of timidness. Yeah. Not sure, and I'm not gonna say that's because of me. You know, he can have other things going on in life, other pressures going on. Yeah, you know, but I sent a little bit of being unsure.
Well, what do you take of him actually going to Texas, working with Derek James? It's a new nucleus there. You know, there's a lot of big names in that gym, from Errol to Jamal, Martin. Do you think that is going to serve him well? Or?
I mean, I think he just tried to do what's best for him. He think that's best for him. But you know, from my experience, it takes time to build a great relationship with the trainer. So you know,
but there's always that first fight. There's always that first.
Yeah,
time.
But you know, it gets deeper than boxing sometimes. Like, I'm pretty sure, like if y'all been in the gym or you got a personal trainer, y'all been around him for months or years upon. He knows things about you. He knows when you're being lazy. He knows when you're lacking. He knows when you're not giving your all. He knows when something's bothering you. He know like it gets a little deeper than boxing sometimes. So I feel like my coaches know me inside out. You know. They can say certain stuff that can get me fired up. They don't even have to be mean or yell or even tell me to do certain things. They can just know how to come to me and get me fired up, get me riled up, get me pumping, get me going, you know. So we just have a deep relationship.
Jermaine, this has been billed as the AJ show. Let's not pretend it's not, right? A lot of people have already planned out AJ's next 2 or 3 fights. They're talking about Fury potentially in the summer, Wilder in the summer. How do you feel about that? Like, it's almost as though they are overlooking you again.
They always overlook me. You know, I'm comfortable here. I feel no pressure from it. I'm at home. I've always been an underdog. You know, like I say before, where we from, we don't get a lot of opportunities. So we prove people wrong every day just by making it out or doing something positive with our life.
Absolutely. You're already a winner just being here.
Just being here.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
I want to know something. That Jermaine Franklin that fought Dillian White, that exact performance, does that kind of performance level beat Anthony Joshua? Or do you guys step it up?
I'm gonna be way better than that.
No, I'm saying, would it? I know you're gonna be better.
If I do it,
kind of performance,
if I did it the right way, yeah, I can get the job done. But it's really all about the fighter and the level of fighter and you know, having a game plan to strategize on how to attack. You know, sometimes we get so brutal and we just get stuck in the mindset of fighting. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's all strategy. It's more of a mental game than it is physical.
100%.
So I want to keep myself in that mental aspect. I would say in that Dylan fight, I was more of a physical aspect. I was in there really just fighting. I feel like I didn't have a lot of time to prepare. You know, was fresh off the job, had to come out here for a couple weeks, deal with jet lag. I'm doing all this while
so that was
trying
straight
to get in shape.
We're going to see a little more skill.
Yeah, you're going to see all skill.
You said levels, right? There's different levels, and a lot of times, often in boxing, we say great fighters fight up to their opponent. So do you feel like because AJ's at that level, you have to be way better?
I'm going to fight better. I fight better as the opposition gets better.
Do you think you can knock him out?
I think I can knock anybody out. I got that much confidence in myself. Yeah. You know, like I tell anybody, if you have the slightest doubt in your mind, you're in the wrong damn sport. This ain't it for you.
I know you told us that you had a job. You was doing this with a job. Was the Dillian White the first time you quit your job and went full time?
Yep, they called me actually while I was at work. They called me.
Hold on, boys. Hold on.
Yeah. Can you tell us what were you doing? What was the job?
It was like it's a commercial roofing company called Duralast. I did like this little vinyl that they make and put it in between these other two
Have
pieces.
you spoken to your coworkers since? Because you a star now.
No, I've been gone. I've been gone.
Oh, you didn't give him a 2 weeks notice in that?
I mean, I told him what was going on.
He gave him a 2-minute notice.
Wait.
He said, look,
Wait. So let me understand this. So, in terms of a life change for you, 8 months ago, you're working full-time, and now you're headlining against AJ at a sold-out O2 Arena?
Yeah, working 12-hour shifts. Couldn't even go to the gym.
That's a sign of don't give up. That's honestly a sign of don't give up.
That's the type of confidence I got myself. In the back of my head, I always knew my time would come. You know, I was getting a little disappointed and depressed because I didn't know how long it would take for it to come, but when I got that phone call, it was time to turn it up. Right.
Can I ask about the phone call for this fight? Obviously, I understand the phone call for the Dillian White fight. And again, it's a fight I personally thought you won, but the record books say you lost. So a lot of people maybe would have said, Jermaine, don't get another opportunity. What was the phone call like when it's like, okay, we want you to fight the former unified heavyweight champion of the world?
Not to sound cocky or nothing, but I kind of felt it was coming. You know, in my heart, I kind of felt it was coming. Yeah, because of my performance and. You know, just from seeing social media and stuff, Eddie was kind of getting a little bit of slack based upon that decision. And, you know, that's one of the reasons I think I love England so much, because y'all real about how y'all feel about the sports. You know,
you say y'all, you gotta look over there. You gotta look over there. I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn, baby.
No, 1 second, but I said he won.
You got that.
But like they real about how they feel. I was getting a lot of love on social media, and you know, a lot of people was just straight up telling me like, I ain't even know who the hell you was. Like, I'm not even a fan of yours, but I think you know what I'm saying. I think you did your thing. I think you won. So I think in that aspect, AJ was there. I think he knows in his mind. I mean, you know, a lot of people probably won't admit it, but I think he knew I would have been a better fight than that.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people say, Franklin has nothing to lose, all the game. But as a fighter, I'm pretty sure you feel in your head you do have something to lose.
I mean, I just look at it as like, you know, it's do or die. We always got something to lose in this sport, you know. So I just look at every situation like I got everything to lose.
Before we let you go, give me a prediction. Sorry.
You know, my prediction is my hands being raised at the end by any cost. You know, if I can get the knockout, that's what I'm going for. I'm nice and strong right now, so if we can get him to crumble, then we gonna try to break him. But if not, then we dominate.
That AJ is saying, if I lose to this guy, I just need to retire.
Yeah, I mean, I find it as disrespectful. I feel.
I think AJ meant if I lose, I retire.
A lot of
as opposed to this guy.
I don't know.
I think it was like if I lose.
I agree with that.
I don't know about that. If he lose to Fury, do you think he would say that?
A lot of interviewers ask me like, if he loses to me, do I think his career is over? You know, I find it kind of disrespectful because I feel like the people's calling me shit. Like I'm not nothing of a to beat him. You know, so. You know, I find it somewhat disrespectful, but you know, this is boxing. They got their favorites until you wake everybody else up, and then, you know, it's a coattail game.
But you could be right. Maybe he's just saying a third loss in a row.
Maybe he's just saying. Yeah. But look, regardless, I know you're going to put on a good performance on Saturday. Look forward to seeing you at the weigh-in on Friday as well. I can't wait to see what's underneath this. I feel like there could be like a Ferrari underneath the hood.
How many abs you got?
Yeah, I probably got 4. I ain't got the 6.
You got 4. Maybe 2.
I got to tone it up a little bit. I ain't got it, but it's
but what you got is skills.
Small, though.
You got skills.
Yeah, most
that's for damn sure. That's what you showed me against Dillian White. You got skills.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
You can fight.
He's got skills that pay the bills. Look, we're going to see this man on Friday, the way in Shepherd's Bush. You can join us, by the way, Westfield Shepherd's Bush. We're all going to be there. The whole team, obviously Jermaine Franklin, all the undercard, AJ. Make sure you join us. Remember, it's live on DAZN.
The new dawn of Anthony Joshua begins, with all future fights live exclusively on DAZN. Rising with a clear mission. Come back stronger. Redemption is in the ring. Witness the rise. Starting with Joshua versus Franklin, April 1st, live only on DAZN. Sign up at dazn.com.